Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Start off with the biggest news of the week. The Rats lost!
But every night I make a new best friend, and the only problem is you like having a good time. Forget yourself now.
If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Listen between two beers.
Getting down.
Hello, love wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And y'all know what that means.
That we're back at our normal time slot?
We are, yeah. We did the Wednesday thing last week.
It was so weird.
That was weird. That was weird.
It.
Yeah, but it is a brand new episode of Between Two Beards. And as what you guys expect from us, a big one tonight. We got a great guest joining us momentarily here that we hung out with last weekend in Indianapolis.
You might have saw
Colombo.
pictures of us.
Yeah, you might have seen some pictures. So we got one of our buddies. We got DC Hendrix popping in here momentarily, and we're going to talk about the weekend that was the Royal Rumble and all that fun stuff. But
the Rumble.
It was a good time. But before we get to that, first and foremost, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man.
Did you get some rest? We had a big weekend.
Still
big
tired.
weekend. You get some rest. You nap it out.
No, I'm still recovering. I fell asleep when I got home from work today.
All right, fair enough.
But it was a long, fun, exciting weekend. But I survived. I had to go right back into shoot job mode, and I wasn't used to. Let's just say I'm not used to getting up this early.
Mm-hmm.
I was used to going to bed that late.
It's fair.
While we were in Indianapolis, so my body is still adjusting. But we will be back in the swing of things, I'm sure. Soon.
Absolutely.
The Philly is in the house. Scott's in the house. Dustin, what's happening? If you're in the chat, smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
You want to get your statement read on the air, shoot us in the chat our way, and we'll guarantee that it'll get read on the air.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Let's not
waste.
Let's not beat around the bush any longer, Pluggo. Why don't you do that thing and introduce?
This fine, handsome stud was with us for Royal Rumble, hung out with us in the press box. We ate dinner together. We partied it up. DC Hendrix is going to join us right now to talk about all of it.
What's going on, friend? How we doing?
Hey. Well, he said handsome fellas. Did you forget my camera was going to come on? Now I got to live up to the expectations.
The hotness level of the stream just went through the roof.
Yeah, they're like expecting Prince Charming to hop on the camera.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, 3 years affiliates.
They tune in and they see these three guys. They're like, I don't know what's going on here, but I got to stay.
We used to see it on goofy looking mugs. We had to bring in some, it's for the 18 to 49 demo. That's what we're going for here.
We got to hit that demo. It's a pleasure to be with you, fellas.
What's up?
It's a pleasure to be with you guys. I mean, we got to hang out at the Royal Rumble. It was a great time as always. Meeting new media members, fellow content creators. So it's a pleasure to be with you guys today to talk about it all.
Yeah. And that's what, we were thinking about. We were like, who do we want to bring on? We should bring on somebody that, we spent some time with over the weekend. It was a good time. It was a busy weekend and all that fun stuff. And we're glad that you were able to join us tonight. So we're ready to get after it. So
was that your first media experience and the first Rumble, or are you as a veteran seasoned in the game here?
Definitely not seasoned. That was my first ever Royal Rumble live.
Okay, mine too.
And only my second PLE live ever.
All right. Rock and roll.
Obviously first time media too. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what was the first ever PLE?
I went SummerSlam last year.
Oh, all right, rock and roll.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
We were there too.
Yeah.
I wasn't with the cool crowd yet, so I didn't get to kick it with you guys yet.
That's fair. That was our first time kicking it, so we weren't with the cool crowd either. Really, But no, it was good.
You make your own cool crowd. That's how.
Exactly.
That's
whatever crowd you're a part of is the cool crowd. That's right. That's just the way it goes.
Right.
We got the boss man.
Yeah,
the boss man popping in the chat. Always good to see you, Mr. Spencer. Yes, and Ophelia mentioned you had an article dropped today. And you mentioned a lot of love for the NXT ladies in that article. So Ophelia said DC showing love to the NXT ladies made me happy today. So so that was pretty cool. I read that. That was a good piece. Obviously, you'll be able to plug that and all that fun stuff. But yeah.
No, yeah, right. You can plug nothing. You come here. No, I'm just kidding. You put us over.
I gotta pay for the super chat.
Yeah, we got Tanner popping in the chat saying another Indiana guy on the pod tonight.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm outnumbered 2-1. I don't.
We should give Tanner to the link and just straight up go.
I don't feel comfortable.
Indiana showed out this weekend. I'll say
honestly,
right off the top. Like, I got down there Thursday afternoon, and the whole city wrestling took over the entire city, which is wonderful to see. And I even wrote about that myself. I said the next town, which I believe is Toronto for Elimination Chamber, you've got some work to do if you want to show out as much as Indianapolis did for the Royal Rumble. The whole city was immersed in it. That is one of my favorite things to see, is when a city gets behind these events. And you may not understand wrestling, but they're going to go all out, and they absolutely did.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's growing definitely in our state. There's starting to be a lot more like local wrestling companies as well that are starting to come up and book a lot of indie wrestlers and things like that. So it was very awesome to see that. I mean, as you would know, in Indiana, it was cool to have it right here. Like, no offense to anyone else that was going, but our drive was a lot shorter than our travel home from the Royal Rumble. And it was just, a lot of the people there were people from Indiana. So we got to all share that love. And, you really don't know how many people in Indiana love wrestling as much as you do until an event like that.
So there's 70,000 people.
Crazy. And so many of them were from here. So it was definitely a great time.
Yeah. And as someone, like, I've had the luxury of not just in media, but in life, I've traveled for big events before and stuff like that. And I did feel like, of all the places that I've traveled for events before, like, there were more people from that, like, I've been to WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, and there weren't the majority of the fans weren't Dallas people. It was the mix of everybody that's traveling. I've been to SummerSlam in Vegas. It was a mix of everybody that was there. Obviously there were people from everywhere. It's the Royal Rumble, but I did feel like this was the most hometown amount of fans that I have seen at a big show where people are traveling from all over the place. I did feel like, man, there's like a lot of local people that are here celebrating that an event of this magnitude is here. And you don't really see that when you go to these other big events all the time.
We also don't get all the cool stuff here in Indiana. So
this is the start, because you guys are getting Mania, you're getting SummerSlam too. At some point in the next 3 to 5 years, however they do it, whatever.
But it's awesome to see that it went as well as it did for the Royal Rumbles, showing like, okay, this can be a very successful venture. Yeah. So very excited to see what they do once you get the SummerSlam in there and the WrestleMania, which will be 2 days, and that's going to be wild.
I mean, SummerSlam could be 2 days too, obviously.
I was going to say,
This year it's doing it when it's in Jersey, so you could be getting two-night pay-per-views in the next 3, whatever, how many years it takes. I think Mania will be the last one you get, right? I don't know how they get it, because I
Justin
would
asked,
expect
what's
summer.
the last PLE they hosted was, I think, the Fast Lane that in 2023. And I mean, that was just at Cambridge Field. They do stuff at Cambridge Fieldhouse all the time. Lucas Oil doesn't do these grand scale things. That this is, I think, like one of the first ones that they've done wrestling related. So
it was largest crowd in Royal Rumble history.
The last time the football stadium in Indianapolis held a wrestling show of that magnitude was 1992, fellas.
Yeah,
I was 2 years old. Not even.
That's incredible. That's incredible. That is incredible. And look, they packed that thing. They packed that thing.
Yeah, we go crazy. Like everybody, the whole state's talking about it. I know up in here in my hometown, everybody's asking me if I was going or if they, I'm going to. And I felt terrible for like a lot of people that were like, "You're going," and I can't wait to link up with you and see you. And then just like to see 70,000 people, and then our obviously press box, that was the only access we were able to get.
Yeah, and you can't leave. You can't.
So I
leave
couldn't leave and go hang out with anybody and meet it. So I don't. Hopefully, if any of my hometown people are watching this, I didn't mean to big time you. I just couldn't.
Pluggo was absolutely talking trash about every single one of you.
I was like, look at.
He was looking down. Look at those plebs. Look at those plebs down there. We're up here.
I was like,
look at this. That's all he was doing. That's all he was doing.
I felt so bad.
Don't believe a word he says. It's all an act. It's all an act. No. But I thought Indianapolis, they did themselves very well. Even the smaller things, Pluggo and I, we stayed like the place we were staying was a little bit like 10 minutes from downtown. We were staying in Fountain Square, and that just so happened to be where all the independent stuff was happening. GCW, Naptown, and really a whole weekend's worth of wrestling events that was put together. And Jay Rose was one of the main people that put that together. They were the ring announcer and kind of the entertainment of the weekend. And the first thing that Pluggo and I did together when we got there is we met up with our pal. We got some food, and then we went to Naptown on that Thursday night. Yeah. And I feel like it was a smaller, not a huge crowd at all, like compared to the other stuff that was going in that building on the weekend and the Rumble and all that stuff. But it really set the pace. I felt like his, their energy, Jay Rose's energy, and just that event itself was like a good little kickstart for the weekend. Cause then once Friday happened, it was go time. It was,
I didn't get in until Friday. I was working Thursday.
Yeah.
So I got there Friday when it was crazy.
Yeah.
I got to downtown Indy on Friday at like 1:00, and it was crazy. Yeah. I was prepared for it, but I wasn't at the same time. We went to the Superstore was what me and my buddies did.
Incredible.
First thing. And that was nuts.
Just like a warehouse. Just you walked into a giant warehouse that they basically just turned into a superstore, and it was like,
and then it was the same time they were doing the meet and greets too.
Yeah.
So
that people everywhere.
So, and then you were hoping you were in the right line. I will say the line into the Superstore moved pretty quick for as packed as they were.
Very quickly.
It was very cool to just see the different amounts of people. And I kept telling JPJ, do you think I should go challenge for that championship? Because people will be walking around with their title belts all weekend. I should have pinned somebody.
Yeah. Oh, look, and that someone in our chat, Ophelia, she goes by that rule. She says, "Hey, if you're bringing a championship belt to the arena, you best be ready to defend it.
That's right. Best be ready to defend it. 24/7 title.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You've shown that thing off. You better be ready."
And I think at the Superstore when we were there, I walked by at one point and Tyler Breeze and Big E were opening up Topps
we were there
cards.
For that.
It's just they immerse themselves in the whole event. Friday for us was we ended up, doing the media stuff and the media interviews in the morning, and then we went back to the Airbnb and got changed, and then popped in and watched some wrestling at Naptown, and then went back out and hit the Superstore. It's crazy. It was really cool. I'm still kind of in awe of how much stuff that was going on there, and that was only some of it. We didn't do it all.
Right. It's impossible to do everything. Yeah. And that one weekend, it's literally impossible. I didn't even get to go to GCW like I was supposed to on Friday night, the after show. I couldn't. I was just so literally the first day I got there, The first night I was already burnt out. Like I wasn't burnt out, but I was like, look, I ain't getting any younger. And
Yeah.
so, like,
Pace
I told
yourself,
you I wasn't
right? Yeah.
I wasn't prepared yet. I did not.
Well, now
really
you know. So
prepare
now next
myself.
time it's even, it's just boom, boom, boom.
It's boom, boom, boom. You
And
just gotta
then-
do it.
Yeah, and we
I gotta take
were
some
able.
shots or something next time.
Yeah, we were able to go to that GCW show. It was a good show.
Nice.
Started at 11 o'clock at night, so it went till about 2 a.m.
Did you go to SmackDown too?
We did not go to SmackDown.
Oh,
We did
okay, I
not
was
go to
gonna say.
SmackDown on that
Woo.
Friday. So yeah, so we were hanging out with a couple other media friends, and then we caught like the last match and a half of the Wrestling Revolver show that was happening right before GCW.
Nice.
The main event was Trey Miguel versus Myron Reed, so that was a doozy. That was a good one. That was a good one. So we saw that, and then we had media badges for like that weekend there. So they kind of kicked all the fans out. And me and PLUGGO and then they're like, we got like an hour to do the GC to turn it into GCW. And me and PLUGGO are kind of looking at each other like, do we have to leave with these people? Or so we're just kind of looking around, and nobody really said anything to us. So we just stayed.
Yeah.
And we were just like, we're just
watch them
staying
do
here.
the teardown.
Yeah, so we watched them tear down stuff and rebuild it to GCW standards, and we were like, all right. Some of the wrestlers were walking by, like chatting with us. We were just like, we're not, unless they tell me to leave, we're not leaving. So then we stayed for GCW, and then obviously, if you saw everything that happened after the GCW show
but before that, you're glossing over the best part. So this is part of what made this weekend, in my opinion, so special. Is we're sitting there watching GCW. Or no, I'm sorry. This was
the Naptown on Thursday.
Yeah, the Naptown on Thursday, right? But they came back. But we're sitting there, and just Caden Carter and Katana Chance just sit down next to us and just start watching indie wrestling, and we get to talk to them a little bit. It was just like everybody, like even the wrestlers were just like, I'm in on all of this vibe. Yeah. But the GCW incident that shook the wrestling world Friday.
Yeah. I was like 5 feet away from that when that happened. I saw it all. I was like, wow, couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was, oh, this is a thing. This is a bit. This is a bit. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, they're setting something up or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it became apparent very quickly that it was not a bit. And it was just like, so my vantage point was, I was like probably more like 10 feet to the right of this happening. I was chatting with.
I thought JPJ was dead.
So I was chatting with someone, and all of a sudden we heard it. You heard the table fell, and I was like, oh shit, something must have happened. And I look over, and I have a clear vantage point of Joey Janela, and I see his face, and he looks like puzzled. Not angry or anything like what the hell?
Right.
Like he didn't know what was happening. And then I immediately saw his facial expression go from that to, okay, like this is on. And he picked up the table. And if you've seen the video, it's floated around. He picked up the table and he threw the table at the guy. And then the guy charged him, and Joey took him to the ground. And then half the GCW roster decided to make that guy's night not end well.
Got escorted out by Calvin.
And then Calvin Tankman, still in his wrestling trunks, because he was in the main event, because he's an Indiana guy, and GCW featured him in the main event. Had a great match with Gringo Loco in the main event of that event. And it was, so everybody's, there's pandemonium. Like everyone's like, oh God, whatever. and then you see Tankman, and Tankman kind of puts he tapped my shoulder, and he remembered my name. He goes, JPJ, and he like moved me out of the way. And then you hear other people in the mess just going, yo, let Calvin handle it. Calvin's here. Let Calvin handle it. And he's still in his trunks, no shirt. Right. He wrestles no shirt, trunks. He's still in his just wrestling gear. And and Joey Janela even said it in his tweet addressing this. He literally picked it. And this guy was another independent wrestler, the guy that did this apparently, because it was over some old bullshit or something like that. So he picked this guy up and just carried him out of the venue. And Joey Janela, in his tweet, he said, like an infant. And that's literally what it looked like. He just scooped him up, and he just went, all right. And he just took him out, and that was it. And he walked him. He didn't even throw him out right outside. He walked him down the corner.
Now, mind you, I'm on the other side of the venue, because I'm doing some other stuff, and he's talking to the people that he knows, and he kind of wandered off. Mm-hmm. And I see it happen over there, and I was like, oh shit. JPJ in the middle of this?
Yeah, where's
It was
JPJ?
me. It was actually
What's
me.
happening? What's going on? Did he start a
And then
fight with something? Did he go full Boston on him?
No. And I was kind of right there, and like I helped pick up the table and stuff like that, and Janella's there, and we made eye contact, and I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I'm good. He goes, that bullshit, like that guy's not nobody. I was like, all right, good. And then I was like, all right, I'm getting out of here. I'm out of my element. I'm out of my element. I'm like, I can't be in this. I'm like, 5'8", like 5'6" on a good day. I can't. I don't have time. I will not survive.
JPJ.
I will not survive.
Because I definitely was just chilling over on the other side.
Yeah, which that's where I didn't mean to be in there. It was just who I was talking to was near there, and then it was just like, oh, this is real. Oh God, all right.
It was all part of PLUGGO's plan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like I'm just gonna hang back over here. You ever seen that scene in Rush Hour when he's like, yeah, let's go talk to him. Let's go talk to him, and then he Chris Tucker dips off to the corner. He's like, I bent down to tie my shoe and you were gone.
Hey, I looked up and you were gone. You were gone. Nobody understand what you be saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's just like, and that was it. That was it. And then I almost blew a spot. We had the privilege of interviewing somebody after the show. We'll save that for when the announcements and things of that nature. And I almost blew that spot. All of a sudden,
we already announced it.
All right, good.
So I'll explain that part. But before I do, Dan, thank you very much for the kind words. We will have more stuff coming out soon from the weekend. And Astrid says, "Hey, DC."
Yeah, Astrid says, "Hey, DC."
What's up, Astrid? Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
So we got the opportunity to chat with GCW World Champion Effie because he's coming up to LPW in March to wrestle for us. So during that whole fracas, he's over there, and then finally Effie is available, and I had to grab somebody to do the camera because I didn't bring my tripod because I didn't know I could. Realizing after that I absolutely could. The way that they had it set up for media, I could have done it. But either way, so Effie's like, "Are we doing this?" And I was like, we're JP, we're like JPJ, like everybody's yelling for him, and we can't find him. And then he's like, and I was
I'm chatting with Cole Radrick, just having
solo. I almost went solo, but the problem was I had set all the mics up and turned his on. And I was like, if I turn on his mic and he's over there chit-chatting and I try to do this interview, it is going to sound awful.
It's going to pick up.
So luckily at the last second, because Effie goes, "Look, man, if he's not here and blows the spot, he blows the spot." And I'm like, you're right. Thank you, sir. He right in the nick of time, then he came and we got it done. But it was a long night.
Is that up yet? Is that posted yet?
It will be soon. We're gonna let that one kind of come out closer to his match in LPW. So there'll be some teasers of it though coming out.
Yeah, he was very generous. He was very generous with his time. I don't think we were expecting him to go as long as he did. So he was very generous. And then
he'll be defending the GCW World Championship up here for LPW against the one and only Stephen Crow. He had some very interesting things to say about Stephen Crow.
He sure did. And then the next day was Saturday, and that's Royal Rumble Day, man.
That's Royal Rumble Day.
Yep. So we went to WrestleCon a little earlier in the day. That was like the time that we had to kind of check WrestleCon out. So we ran into some people there. They had a lot of cool legends at WrestleCon. Rob Van Dam was there. Billy Gunn.
I saw DC was there.
DC was there. Yep. You met one of your favorites, Kenneth. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
Careful.
But used to be.
Yeah.
In WWE, Mr. Kennedy, but Mr. Anderson, I know he's one of your all-time favorites. I saw your little thing that you released with him. That must have been fun. And to be able to, when we were there.
I want to give him a quick shout out.
Yeah, do it.
He does follow me now. So I want to, so I just, sometimes look, when you go up to these wrestlers at the WrestleCon stuff, just ask them, how much for a reel? How much for a quick interview? And most of the time they'll just be like, we could do, especially if you already got a picture. That's pretty much what happened with Ken Anderson. He was just like, we already got a picture. He was like, what he asked about the show. First of all, he's like, what is it for? And, told him or whatever. And he looked me up and hit me up later on Instagram, was like, hey, come back Saturday. Come back tomorrow. I'll be back, and then we'll do the reel. And so I went back, and I had to escort him out because it was way too loud in there Saturday. I'm sure you guys seen.
Oh yeah, it was
how crazy it was.
Yeah,
trying to do an interview in there, impossible. So he was like, "Do you got somewhere where we can, it can be a little bit quieter?" So I had to search around the outside perimeter to find an area. So I found an area, and I'm literally having to like escort him out because people on his way out, people are like, "Oh yeah, can I get a a picture? Can I get the?" And like, no, that's what his table's for.
Yeah,
so I'm having to like shove people out. Like, no, not right now.
These people, right some of these people, savage,
nuts.
Yeah,
savage.
We saw that with like Ric Flair was walking around and people are trying to grab pictures and stuff, and it's like that's what they're there for. They're not going to take pictures with you in the lobby of the hotel where upstairs they're charging $60. So just a FYI to anybody that goes. The future.
Like don't even care where they're going. Like, what if he's going to the bathroom?
Yeah,
they don't care. Maybe he has an emergency, and you're just like, "Oh, can I get a picture?" And and it's like, So
it's the one thing I don't. Especially when it comes to like a wrestle con. Like when it comes to like a con like that, they are there at tables, charging people for pictures, handshakes, things of that nature. So you think if they're walking to leave to go get food, to go to the bathroom, they're gonna shake your dumbass hand for free? You know what I'm saying?
Great way to put it. Couldn't have said it better.
That
in my brain, I'm like, how do you think that works? Like he's gonna wait if you wait 10 minutes to when he's back from the bathroom and go pay the $40 like the other people that have done.
Exactly.
What do you think? You're special?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that was a highlight for me because like I didn't get the media stuff like you guys did. Like the media junket. So like WrestleCon for me was my big highlight because I got that, and he was so into it. Like when I told him my idea,
like,
he did it. He like no offense, but like everyone knows him as Kennedy. Yeah, like for the most part, he's Kennedy. So I was like, people, I wanted to find a way. I'm new to the Reels thing. I know we're, in today's day and age, everyone's interested in the Reels, the quick, everybody's attention span's short, so they like the quick videos. And so I was thinking, how can I make a quick video to get people's attention with them? And so I was like, all right, why don't I start introducing you and do like you used to do? Take that microphone from me without hurting me. I make it.
Don't like.
If you're gonna hurt me just a little bit,
just snatch it a little bit. And I was like, take the microphone from me, make fun of me a little bit for pronouncing your name all messed up, and then do it. I want you to introduce yourself. And he did it. He loved it. First of all, he was like, "Man, let's do it. I like that." And
you could tell he was into it. You could tell he was into it. You could tell.
So that was a highlight. And then RVD. I am going to be interviewing RVD soon. So I'm hoping to get an official date for that, because obviously I'm not wasting that moment. RVD is my favorite of all time. So
I
was kind of hoping. They showed him in the front row earlier in the night, and you and I were sitting next to each other, and then PLUGGO was on my other side, and I was like, he looks like he could just hop out of the front row and just go in there if they need him in the Rumble.
I was hoping they instead put I Show Speed in there.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Speaking of WrestleCon, one of my favorite moments. It was just random because it was so jam packed, like you said. Like it was because it was general and it was free to the public, which is great, and it was just nuts. But we ended up getting like log jabbed in front of Bill Alfonso for some reason.
My god, he actually came over. Yeah,
and we're just talking, and JPJ is just talking to him. I didn't say much. JPJ was interacting, and for some reason he just looks over and he goes, "I want to put this dude through a table," and like elbowed me in the chest, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on right now? What did I do to you, sir?"
Like it wasn't even like he was trying to be funny. Like he was like, "I want to put this guy through a table." And he like threw an elbow, and I was like, "Yo, let's."
I was like, "Do I have that face?"
I was chatting with Alfonso, just shooting the shit. I was like, "Bro, I used to stay up, telling him like I stayed up till 1 a.m. on Friday nights. I had to put on like Univision. It was on the Spanish channel in Massachusetts where I was from. I'm like, that's where I watched it, and we're just shooting the shit. And then out of nowhere, that's what he says to PLUGGO.
Like, I'm gonna mess.
He just goes, he looks over and he goes, "I want to throw this guy through a table." I was like,
I didn't get to see any of that craziness.
Yeah.
The only thing that threw me off a little bit was it didn't throw me off. I was very, it was just like, this is cool as hell. So I'm taking the picture with RVD. I don't know what vibe he got, but he's like, I'm walking away and he's like, "You a smoker?" I'm like, I don't know. Who's asking?
You
You know,
cop?
just messing with him. And he reaches in his pocket and hands me his RVD rolling papers.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I was like, all right, that's a highlight. Like,
Yeah, of course.
RVD giving you his RVD official rolling papers. Like, let's go.
I like
So,
it.
that was. And then I heard Rikishi was a mess. Did you guys go to near Rikishi's table?
We saw.
We
some
walked
pictures,
by it.
but we walked by it, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
Him and Chavo, like, I don't know what was going on over there, but those two were similar to like the guy wanting to put you through a table. Like they were like they were clowning over there. I heard he said he was gonna stink face somebody, and I'm like,
how much do you think that costs? How much was he charging? How much was he charging
somebody probably asked for it.
Yeah. How much are you charging for that?
How much for you to stink face me?
Yeah.
Weirdos.
I should be paying.
Probably a lot less than we think.
Oh yeah. I bet you
$10.
I bet you do it for $10. He'd do it for $10. He'd probably take pride in that. He'd be like, this dumb ass. This dumb. I am gonna give him all of this.
But it was cool to see because like even if you weren't buying something and you just went up to their tables to look, most of the wrestlers that we saw, like Danhausen was super sweet to us. Cardona gave us a few minutes of just talking to him.
Hey, broke news. He said he was going to enter at number 40. Never got to it.
Because I was walking around WrestleCon and I go, JPJ, his line has been nuts the entire weekend, I imagine. I wonder how many times he's been asked about the Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. So I just said, hey, Matt, just love what you're doing. I want to just, can you settle this, debate or question for us? And he goes, so many times. And I go, do you give a different answer each time or you just give him a standard? And he goes, yep, I tell him I'm coming in at 40.
That sounds like something he would say.
Yep.
Definitely sounds like a Cardona answer.
Yeah.
But it was cool. And then like we talked to Mance Warner and Steph DeLander a little bit. I bought a Mancer hat. Shout out to Mance.
Nice.
But like these people are there that they get it. And there's a lot of them are seasoned WrestleCon veterans. They get like, we're here to just have fun. These fans are fans, and nobody was really rude or nasty, and everybody was cool. I loved it. It was such a fun vibe. It was super packed, though. I was like,
yeah, it was very, very packed. It was very, very packed. Yeah,
Friday wasn't too bad
because I also had my gear bag on because I knew we were going to the Rumble like directly after that, so I had everything I needed for the press box. So I'm like, I'm going to take somebody out with this thing.
Yeah. And then, then we make our way to Lucas Oil.
That's right. Which, by the way, Carlito had quite the crowd. He was coming out of some working garage, and there was just like a sea of people for Carlito. Just going nuts, dude.
Just going, I'm like, man, all right.
And then, of course, we ate at the Subway that as soon as we left, Drew McIntyre came out and did his spot, so we just missed that.
Yeah, yeah. So we were like, all right, that's fair. So then we make our way. We're at Lucas Oil, and then we get there early. Mm-hmm. And when we get there, we see that we either arrived right at the same time or you had just gotten there a few minutes before us. But we get there, and then our pal Emily is also there, and we're all there. It's only like 4 or 5 of us at that point. And we're like an hour early. We're like an hour early. We're very early.
I will say that is my one disappointing factor of Lucas Oil. Especially where we were, because we're like, let's scope it out. Let's get there. Let's figure out where we need to go. Because in Cleveland, we had to walk quite a bit to get to the media spot.
It was bad.
Yeah. So we're like, let's get down there. And then I was like, there's got to be spots where there's going to be food or something. And there just wasn't where we were at. And I was like, so we ended up just having to sit there.
So we sat there for an hour, but it ended up working out for us. But we got there early, and then all of a sudden the line starts forming and stuff like that. And David Wright, I am still not over this, guys. I am still not over this. I kind of look in the back, and I can see like some media friends, and then I see like a group of guys there, and I'm like, I don't think they're the media. They don't look like they're in the media. And I see one of them, and I go, that looks like David Wright. And Pluggo goes, what? I go, the baseball player, David Wright. I go, that looks like David Wright. And Pluggo's like, maybe, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm fixated on it. I'm like, that is David Wright.
I don't think I could pick David Wright out in a line.
That's what I was saying.
I don't even like the Mets. I don't even like the
I was
Mets.
gonna say, aren't you Red Sox?
I'm a Red Sox guy, but he
Right,
was a
and the
great
way
player. He was an all. I just know. Yeah. So all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, that group of guys, they get like somebody comes out to grab them. They were going to the suites. They weren't in the media, and he's walking by, and he makes eye contact with me, and he's like, "What's up, man?" And I go, and I put my fist up, and I go, "David Wright." That's all I said. I went, "David Wright," and he goes, "Yeah, man." And he gave me the fist bump, and I was like,
That's
What
"This
if it
guy's
was
going to be like
him?
a potential Hall of Famer."
Yeah, I was gonna say
Baseball
that's
player.
crazy.
And I was just like, David Wright. And then he was like, "Yeah, man." Yeah. And he was like, "Have fun tonight." And he just walked away. And I looked at Pluggo. I was like, I knew that was David Wright.
And then to all his
Just so
all his buddies, he goes, "I'm not David Wright. What a bum."
I know, yeah. What a piece of shit. What a piece
I
of
think
shit.
I'm
That, guy.
David
You see
Wright.
that loser?
Got him.
God, he thought I was David Wright. Come on.
I got to meet the legend that is G-Fed. JPJ has no idea who that is.
I didn't know who that guy was. I didn't know who that guy was.
G-Fed, G-Fed rules.
That's fair.
I
That's
think
fair.
I watched his video. I think he might have slightly stayed longer than we did.
Yeah, I would think in the press box you're not going to be able to stay too late. I think if he had a regular...
he was there for like 2.5 hours. He
Really?
made it. Yeah.
So Pluggo told me about this guy, and I go, "I'm sorry, I don't know who this is." And he goes, "So his shtick is that he goes to sporting events, and then he just sees how long he can stay at
Before they
the
kick
play
him out.
before they kick him out.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's like his thing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, that's okay, cool." Yeah,
But I was just like, I was there in his early TikTok days, and I was just like, "Oh wow."
It's like, this
I was
is,
like,
you know,
sorry, but no, it was wild. Then we're in that line for it felt like forever, but we ended up meeting you and Wells and just man. And we got
it was a great
inside.
time. It was a great time. Then we got inside. It was cold. It was cold.
It was super cold.
It was cold out there. So then we got out. We got inside. This was a lot smoother of a check-in and way to the press box as in Cleveland. I don't know if you were told about this at all, but in Cleveland, we had to walk across the whole damn stadium in the middle of the sea of we were like literal sardines in like 90-degree weather. It was brutal. But this was very easy. Nice little check-in right up to the elevator. Boom. We're in the press box. And it actually ended up working out for us that we were early because we were at the beginning of the line because those seats. Oh, Mrs.
So many
Pluggo's
nice
here. We
beers
all
on
have
the
to
screen.
acknowledge
Hi.
Mrs. Pluggo. Yeah.
It's because DC's here.
Yeah.
Mrs. Pluggo,
Yeah.
the love of my life.
Because those seats in that press box, especially in that first row, they filled up very quickly. And if we were not as early as we were, because there were some people that were like, they got there on time during the checkout window, but they got there and there were no seats. They had to go to like a separate area. Like it was, you know.
Yeah, there was a whole nother area.
There was a whole nother area down below that they eventually had to open up because there were not enough seats. So, you know, as early as we were at the beginning and being like, oh man, we're so early, it actually worked in our favor. And then it was rumble time. And then it was rumble time. And it was a good one.
The best one, I think, since McIntyre.
That's fair. I thought it was very good. Yeah. Dust.
I was going to ask, so the press box, and I saw this from some other media friends of ours. Oh,
well, we got a super chat. So Grainmaker, our pal.
We got to figure out how to fix that so people's faces can.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't want to block the faces, but
Sleepy, what's up, homie? Everyone's saying at the barrio that Sleepy. He's like the Mexican Wolverine and shit. Name that movie.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's from a movie.
God.
22
I
Jump
know.
Street.
I know it's from a movie.
It's not the second one. The
Tell
first
him
one.
about that. Tell him about that story. It's such good detail.
Yeah.
There was
All right, that's fair.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
That's the
My
first one.
name's Jeff.
That's the first one. That's the first one.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
No, that's the second one.
Okay, then that's why I
Really?
never saw the second one. I only saw the first one.
The
I've seen both
22
of
Jump
them.
Street. The first one, they're in high school. This
Ah.
one, they went to college, but they were working, and he had the exotic animals. And he goes, "Oh, black market
That's
exotic
right.
animals,
It
just
was.
like we expected." It ain't in my mouth.
Oh, is this a time thing? This is supposed to. Wait, what? Oh, he says that's supposed to be left on. It's gonna block our guest's face for 10 minutes.
There's gotta be a way.
We can't do that.
We used to be able to shift the screen. How do you do that?
Yeah. No, you did pop Pluggo. You did pop Pluggo. Thank you for that super chat. We appreciate you.
You look like the Mexican Wolverine and shit. Now I'm just gonna quote the movie.
I never saw the second one. I very much enjoyed the first one, though. I very much enjoyed
the second one's better than the first one.
How is
it?
The second one.
I think the second one's better.
It's so good.
I didn't see the second one.
Because the second one, like they just heavily leaned into everything from the first one and just were ridiculous about it. Like it's the one where they got Kate
it was like what Home Alone did from Home Alone 1 and 2, like how Kevin just got super violent in the second one.
Yeah.
I feel like 22 Jump Street did the same
Listen,
thing.
man. Home Alone is a classic, don't get me wrong. Home Alone 2, I mean,
he got violent.
Equally as classic as the second. I feel like people don't give it right up there. It's right up there. I would make an argument that it might not be a better movie, but it's funnier.
It's way funnier.
It's funnier.
Yep.
Home Alone 2 is legitimately funnier.
That's how I feel about 22 Jump Street. I think 22 was a little bit funnier.
Yeah, that's how I feel about like the American Pie movies as well. American Pie 2.
Yep.
The first one is a better movie, but American Pie 2 is like 5 times funnier than the first movie. Oh. And it's kind of one of those things. And it looks like, right as we're about to talk about the Rumble, we have our pal. We knew he'd be hopping on for a little bit tonight. That was also part of it. We mentioned him a little bit earlier. We got Wells Mania hopping in here. What's going on? How are you, fella?
How do you feel about 22 Jump Street, Wells?
It's the Royal Rumble, so I figured I was a late entry into the Between Two Beards episode tonight.
A
surprise. 4 beards now.
4 beards.
Between 4 beards. What's up, DC?
What's up, Wells? What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm good. Pluggo, JPJ, thank you guys for having me on. I apologize for the late arrival, but
no worries. No worries at all. Better late than never, as they say. We were just about to talk about, we were talking about some of the weekend, but we were just about to talk about the actual Rumble event. We talked about kind of how we were all there hanging out a little bit beforehand, got up to the press box and all that fun stuff. And we were about to dive in to talk a little bit about the actual event that we were able to watch while we were there in Indianapolis. And it was a good time, as it was. So now I'm outnumbered by 3-1. Of
Indiana represent, baby.
I am surrounded by. What are they? Are you Indianans?
Hoosiers, baby.
Hoosiers, baby.
Hoosiers. That makes sense. So I am with 3 Hoosiers. In my opinion, still to this day, best sports movie ever made. I would give to Hoosiers. I would give to
Chitwood.
I would give it to Hoosiers. We could have a debate. I could talk sports movies all night if we wanted to. But let's talk a little bit Royal Rumble. So we were there. We were all sitting next to each other, the 4 of us. We were all that's who we were with. And they opened up the show with the women's Royal Rumble match. Now, in general, obviously we're going to talk about both matches, but I felt like both matches were very good, but they were different. I felt like the women's match, obviously there were storylines that happened in the women's match, but I feel like the women's match was more based on returns and surprises, whereas the men's was built very, very strongly on storylines and things of that nature. And I thought they played out over that way. Sandlot, someone's saying Hoosiers over Sandlot. Sandlot is my favorite sports movie of all time, but I would say Hoosiers is probably like a better, like Sandlot's a comedy. Hoosiers got that drama. It's a little bit more of a,
Did it.
Wait, what happened?
I pushed buttons and I did it. Look.
All right.
Way to go.
So it doesn't block. It doesn't block. It doesn't block.
I knew you.
That's right. It doesn't block faces no more because I am a technological genius.
There we go.
Yeah, baby.
Wait, is it supposed to actually stay on screen for 10 minutes though? Is that a thing, or was he just messing with it?
Keep it on for as long as you'd like.
No, I don't know. I don't know the rules.
But we didn't want to keep it up because we didn't want to ruin DC's beautiful face. And now look at it.
Got to see DC's beautiful face there.
Now
I don't know
I got
what program you guys thought you were joining, but this one is not a.
now I got Lawrence
This
giving
is-
me crap.
This
Lawrence
ain't the
says,
Observer, baby.
Lawrence in the chat says David Wright looks like the most generic white dude you might watch. And he goes, you might watch too much baseball because how did you pick that dude out of a lineup? Because he was the best third baseman in baseball for like 9 years.
You know,
He's
JP,
no
years.
Evan Longoria, my guy.
I would
told me
pick
that
Evan Longoria
story.
out of a lineup as well.
I was like, I don't think I would recognize David Wright if he walked right up to me and said, "Hey, I'm
No.
David Wright."
No.
Well, sorry, I recognize him from 30 people away. I don't know what that says about me, but I was
That's
like,
impressive.
damn it, that's David Wright.
Too much MLB The Show.
That's probably it. That's why he was a starting third baseman on my Diamond Dynasty League.
you
So that
go.
is what it is. That's probably
Yes,
part of
see,
it.
look, Spencer said I was going to hop in and say Pluggo did well, but then he said he's a technological genius.
It's
But
true.
look, it works.
Works.
Send
There we go.
your super chat so I can do that more.
Yeah,
guys.
now exactly. Send some more super chats, please. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Anyway, we were
but-
talking about David
Yes,
Wright.
so
his
it started. Yeah,
generic-
exactly. Yeah, it started with the women's rumble. A very fun time. A very fun time.
Oh yeah.
My first experience watching a rumble as part of the media and the press box and kind of it was fun because all the media was getting into it. We were all doing the countdown from the box, and we were very much. It was fun. It was a fun atmosphere. And the women's rumble we saw really early. We saw Roxanne Perez. We saw Io Sky #1, Liv Morgan #2, Roxanne Perez #3, and then Iron Woman over an hour and 7 minutes, longest time ever for anybody. Roxanne Perez, she made it to the final 2. We saw a lot of NXT presence in the women's rumble. We had 5. Roxanne, we had mentioned Lash Legend. We saw Stephanie Verker. We saw Julia. And the biggest surprise I thought, which I was very happy about, is Jada Parker. We saw Jada Parker show up as well. So the NXT ladies, which I still say, I think that is the strongest women's division, maybe in all of wrestling. I think in all of wrestling.
And now they're getting Jordan Grace.
And now they're getting Jordan Grace for a little bit added into that too. The rich get richer, as they say. We have another super chat. Amanda Savage coming in.
Hey.
DC might
Look
know
at
her. I
that
think
beautiful
Hey.
yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
Tri-state
And she says,
screen
yes.
shrinkage.
Yeah. She's
Amanda Savage.
yeah.
Shout out to my
Yes,
bestie.
LFG. My dream is to have
yeah.
someone super chat us on Tuesday night, besties. There you go.
That's right.
Might have to return the favor. You never know. And so we had a strong NXT presence.
Watch that.
Oh, God, we're gonna have to do
and
that every
out.
time now. We're gonna have to do
In,
the plug
out,
out shout.
like,
Look what I
out.
did.
The
Look what I
press
did.
box. did a
Anyway,
really
you guys,
good
while I
job
play with the
talking
screen,
to
you
NXT
tell me.
superstars.
Talk about the Rumble.
Yeah. And then we had a couple returns. Now we knew one of the returns that was happening. They had billed Charlotte Flair as coming back, and she came back and was number 27 in the Rumble. We'll talk about Charlotte momentarily for obvious reasons. But I thought the biggest pop
What
of the night
moment in the women's Rumble was your guys' favorite?
Well, I was
overall?
going to say the biggest pop of the night, the biggest surprise of the night, the biggest return of the night.
Nikki Bella.
Yeah, Nikki Bella was great. Nikki Bella was great.
Nikki
But
Bella
Alexa Bliss, when she came back, that was the moment of the night. It was the loudest pop of the night. We had heard the rumors about the contract stuff, and obviously they were able to hammer that down. And we got the boss man saying that was an all-time return. I would agree. I thought that was easily, and at that point, we had not really had the audio. The audio was kind of still in the press box, not there, so we could hear kind of the roar of the crowd, but we were really watching it on our phones or iPads or, on Peacock or whatever, however way we could, until they kind of turned the audio on towards the end of the Rumble. But even with that, when Alexa came out, not only was there a massive pop in the press box because half of us jumped out of our seat going crazy, but you could feel the crowd in that moment. And it was a great
Literally
moment.
Through the panel glass, you could feel the vibration and
Yeah.
the rumbling of 70,000 people just losing their minds.
Yeah. And that was
cool.
very cool.
Michael Cole even goes, the internet told us she was never coming back. So he even played into her return, because there was that rumor that there was a contract dispute. That's why she hadn't debuted yet, or re-debuted yet, or whatever you want to say. But yeah, good for Alexa Bliss. Pop of the night. I think I was talking to you, Wells, or all of us. Yeah, I turned the dryer on. I'm so excited.
What did you do with laundry? I'm proud of you, Pluggo.
I'm not doing laundry. I just push buttons by myself. I'm on my washer and dryer right now. But no, this is my laundry room, dude. My fancy, it doubles as a studio. But we even said like that they should have changed course, because of the pop she got was so deafening that when she got eliminated, everybody was so disappointed that we were like, oh man, they should have did something on the fly and let her run a little longer, because she had a great run.
And she had,
biggest, just to be different from you fellas, because I feel like we're all going to pick Alexa Bliss in her return. But one for me that was like a little bit more personal was I definitely was very excited about Julia. Julia being in the Rumble was big for me. I'm a big Julia fan over in Japan, coming over here. I think she's got a bright future. So it was really cool seeing her mix with the best that the entire company has to offer, and not just NXT. And that was also, Roxanne eliminated her, so she got her revenge on her, at least in that match. Julia for me was a little bit of a surprise as well. So that was the big one for me.
She's one I didn't think that they were gonna bring out.
I didn't either,
and only because I didn't want her to enter this Rumble, because now my mind is gonna go, when is she coming up to the main roster to wrestle?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just
have that feeling.
Right, because we did it with Roxanne, and we've done it for 3 years with Roxanne, and now it's like, oh darn it! But that's fine. I think that does indicate she might have a shorter run in NXT than we expect, which is cool. It was always a good time. Shout out to Maxine, by the way. Maxine had a good spot.
Yeah, that was a good little spot by Maxine Dupree. Yep.
So,
what about Wells? What stuck out to you, maybe that we haven't talked about yet in the women's Rumble?
I do want to give love where I feel like it needs to be given. Nia Jax set a brand new record for most eliminations in a women's Rumble with 9. And now I believe she's the career leader in all-time eliminations in the women's Royal Rumble. I think she's got like 29. She's a force to be reckoned with, and I really love the way that she's being booked. I know she didn't win the women's Rumble, but she absolutely made her presence felt. And I love to give flowers where I feel like they deserve to be given. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people give them to Nia Jax the way that
not enough people do.
Deserves to receive them. So here I am, Wells Mania, giving the flowers to Nia Jax. But I do love Jordan Grace that she's now in WWE. I'm really excited to see how she's booked. And I don't know about you guys, and I think I overheard, it might have been you, Pluggo. I heard somebody say she reminded me of the Ultimate Warrior when she.
It was not me. But that's not a bad shout, because she did have the vibe. She definitely had the vibe.
I don't know who that was, but that stuck with me, and I was like, she did kind of give me Ultimate Warrior vibes.
Yeah,
I don't want to take credit for
the spot that she had when she lifted Piper Niven and gave her that move, then she kind of bounced into the ropes and then into like a pose. Like that was a very, very cool spot and a good showing for her. She is going to be a massive star on NXT until they want her on the main roster. She's just fantastic.
And just a couple your Nia Jax point. She's one of the interviews.
She's been an MVP,
and I know people like to dump on her on the internet and whatever, but like she was an absolute gem. She was a wonderful person. She was very into everything in every interview, not just ours, like everybody. She gave them time. She gave them energy. It felt like she loved to actually be there doing that thing. So shout out to Nia overall.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to interview Nia. I know you guys have probably already talked about the media junket, but that was my first time doing that. Yeah. And I just wanted to say thank you to all three of you for making this experience a lot of fun. I know DC, I know you weren't there at the media junket, but you made the press box a lot of fun. Pluggo and JPJ, you guys absolutely calmed my nerves, and I don't get nervous. But I was nervous doing that media junket because I'd never done it before, and it doesn't get any bigger than WWE. Yeah. I mean, this is the mecca of pro wrestling, and we were in it, and I was like, man, this is. I really hope I get a chance to come back and do this again at another event, and I hope DC. I hope you get that opportunity as well, because it was a really cool experience. I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
Yeah. Look at we felt a very similar way when we were at SummerSlam. It was our first time together doing the media junket, and like we were ready for it. We were prepared, and we felt confident about what we were going to do. But it is nerve-wracking. You're in that room, and you look over here, and you see somebody from ESPN, and you see somebody from Sports Illustrated, and
there's Chris Van
Vliet, and Sean Ross Sapp, and all these guys that you respect, guys and girls that you respect. You have a massive amount of respect for and what they do. And you want to do well for yourself, but you also want to look like you fit in. You want to look like you belong there. You know what I mean? And, we had people guiding us along when we were in SummerSlam weekend. So like when, and you didn't come off as nervous to me, man, at all. You didn't. So, it's not like we were there to help. And, I know you were asking a lot of questions, and we were like, yeah, dude, let's go. Let's like,
you guys took care of me, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. But
that's one thing that we've noticed as we've been doing more of these. This is like from the press box to whether it's the media spots, whatever it may be. Everybody's there to do their own thing and do their job, but we're all there as like for one goal. So we all try to help each other out and lift each other up, and nobody's too big for anybody else. And like, it's just a really cool little vibe because we're all wrestling fans at the end of the day, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, you don't cover wrestling because, you're like, oh, darn, I got to go cover wrestling today, because you love this, because it's fun. So, it was awesome, dude. You both killed it. I had fun at that press box. It was wild. That was the wildest press box I've ever been a part of. I've only been a part of two, but that was
I thought nuts. It was funny that Sean Ross Sapp kept telling everybody that he eliminated me in a battle royal that him and I were both in.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny that he kept putting me over in a roundabout way. But I remember him talking to Chris Van Vliet, and all of a sudden Sean stopped his conversation with CVV and goes, "See this guy, Chris? I eliminated him in a battle royal, and I eliminated him in front of everybody, and it was awesome." And Chris Van Vliet looks at me and goes, "Oh, I didn't know you were a professional wrestler." So I'm like, these are two of the biggest names in what we do. And they're taking the time to acknowledge me as a local pro wrestler. And I'm just like, what world are we living in right now?
Yeah. And, before we continue to move on, like, again, everybody that we met over the weekend was so nice. And, again, just expectations through the roof, like just shattered expectations of how nice and how everybody is. But when you talk about those two guys, this is like the second or third time I've got to meet Chris Van Vliet. He is one of the nicest people I think I've ever met 100%. In my life. And like remembered who I met that guy for like 5 minutes in Cleveland, maybe. And this guy interviews everybody. He's that guy, and he remembered who I was. He took the time. Hey, how's your show going? Blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, he doesn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have to do that, but see how he treats everybody, and Sean too. But like, both of them are just, it just speaks to who they are as people, Did
you guys have better experiences in that press box than I did?
What do you mean? What happened to
you? I got beat up by Riccacino.
Well, that is true.
Sean Ross Sapp. Wells chopped me on the chest a little bit. I went home with some bumps and bruises.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Riccacino did charge Pluggo. He did charge Pluggo. I was luckily able to separate it while taking a picture of it, but he did charge him. All of a sudden, we're sitting there, and I just hear, "You son of a bitch." And I look over and I see Ochino coming down. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Pluggo did it again. I was like, but
bumps and bruises. But no, it was a good time. See, I hope you boys had a good time in the press box and enjoyed that. It was a really fun experience. Except they cut the drinks off, which I'm not talking alcohol, I'm just talking water. They cut the drinks off like after the Women's Royal Rumble.
They did. It was super early.
Did you guys see Denise Salcedo's tour of the press box?
No, I missed it.
So she was on so I didn't know this until I left, but there was another side of the press box.
Yeah.
And apparently there were other media personalities down there, and that's where Denise was. So she did this tour of the press box up there, and she walked all the way to the side that we were on, and because she was told that there was food over there. Well, by the time she got over there, all the food was gone.
Yeah.
And what PLUGGO just said, the cooler was locked.
There were still drinks in it too. They just locked it.
Yeah, I felt so bad for her because I was like, man, you came too late. Because JPJ told me, he goes, dude, if you're going to eat, you better eat early because they cut that off.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll go grab some chicken tendies. So I made sure I got something in my system that night.
Yep. That was one thing PLUGGO told. I mean, now when there's food involved, I'm always near the front of the line. That's just how I roll. I look like that's how I roll, and I live that.
But I did that in Cleveland. I went.
Yeah, PLUGGO missed out in Cleveland because he was.
I ate a little bit early, and I was like, okay, I'll head back up there once I kind of get situated and acclimated and everything. And I think we sat and ate with a couple media members, and I just had a little bit. And I was like, yeah, but I'll swing up there and grab something more towards the end, and it was gone. I was like, oh, that was a mistake. So. Because I was trying to be like, don't eat like I normally eat in front of people.
Yeah.
I was trying to be respectful.
Yeah. Back to the women's rumble, though. Someone in the chat, Trish Stratus as well.
Yeah.
Nice little
talk
surprise.
about Trish.
Number 25. Yeah. And it seems like she'll be sticking around for a little bit. They're going to do a 25th anniversary thing with her. And then you already mentioned her, Wells, but number 30, Nikki Bella. Made her return, and it sounds like she's sticking around for a little bit as well. So you get a couple big time legends coming back, maybe for a run through WrestleMania or so, maybe longer. Who knows? So that was pretty cool. I do feel like for Nikki Bella, she got a really good. I saw a lot of people saying the pop wasn't. She got a really good pop, but I do think a lot of people were expecting Becky Lynch. At first.
Or Jade Cargill,
or maybe even Asuka. Like I felt like people were expecting. Not that Nikki wasn't a great surprise, because I love me some Nikki Bella. I'm glad she's back. I'm glad she's doing well and all that stuff. But I do think a lot of people were expecting Becky or Jade, and it was kind of like that initial shock at 30 when it wasn't one of them. But then it was like, oh shit, Nikki Bella, that's awesome. And it was kind of like, so. But I thought she got a great pop. I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's been an audio clip circling of her talking about that spot she did with Roxanne, which was really cool. She said that Roxanne came up to her when she was like a kid, and they met her somewhere, and they were like, oh, maybe in 5 years you can team up with the Bellas. And Roxanne was like, maybe in 5 years I can have a match with you. And then she was like, and then 10 years later at the Rumble, I'm in the ring with her, like doing a spot like that. It's a cool little thing. It's like a 2-minute clip if you can find it. It's very cool.
Never know where someone's going to go in this business.
Yeah. Seems to be Roxanne's gimmick right now is that she was the kid at the line in these meet and greets, and Bailey's like, yeah, I remember you, young kid. Roxanne's going to have that run for a while.
Yeah,
but that is true. You never know who's going to make it in this business and who's just coming up. So it's very cool.
And then at number 27, the Queen, Charlotte Flair, makes her return. 27's a lucky number. It's a lucky number in the Rumble. It's one of the numbers that has won the most in the history of the Rumble. And Charlotte Flair and Roxanne Perez end up as the final two. And that hell of a showing by Roxanne. And Charlotte Flair, the favorite of many, but Charlotte Flair ends up winning the Women's Royal Rumble, the first ever two-time Women's Royal Rumble champion. Is that who, I know PLUGGO and I had picked her. Is that who did you gentlemen both have her as kind of your picks going into the Rumble as well? And obviously it kind of played out the way that we all thought it would there.
Yeah, I picked Charlotte Flair to win the Rumble. And I actually, during my interview with Tiffany Stratton, I went ahead and pitched the prettiest moonsault mania ever match, Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. Nice. And Tiffany loved it. So then I looked in the camera and I said, all right, Triple H, we just need to put the match now. So remember, if you guys hear prettiest moonsault mania ever, it came from yours truly first. Okay, I'm just saying.
Let's go. Yeah, I had Charlotte winning. Awesome. I wanted Io Sky to win. I think I told Jake. I was talking to JPJ about it before the Rumble. I really wanted Io Sky to win. I thought it was her time. She hasn't won yet, so I thought that would have been really cool. But once she came out number one,
you were disappointed.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
she came out at 1, and me and DC were both like, "Oh,
Yep,
no,
that's it.
she's at 1, no,
Yeah. So
no."
I don't know if anybody else could hear or feel my disappointment when she came out number 1.
Yeah.
But once that happened, it was pretty obvious Charlotte was winning. So no shockers there.
No shockers there. I know people have opinions about it, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to your opinion. But I think, when you kind of look at it in the scope of it, especially when we saw that there was no Jade Cargill, there was no return of Becky, there was no return of an Asuka or anything like that, I felt like Charlotte was arguably the biggest star in the Rumble on the women's side of things, even though she had just come back. And she's one of the few people on either side of the roster that when she shows up, guess what? She's going to be fighting for titles soon. It's just what it is, I will see where it goes. We already saw her on Raw. We saw her show up on NXT this week to confront. There were multiple women in the ring when she did that, but she said she was going to see Julia, which we assume, and we kind of know she's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow to talk to Tiffany, and then she'll make her decision. And I assume it'll be the Tiffany decision. That seems like a match that can write itself with Charlotte and Tiffany.
She did say she will see Rhea next week, but I have a feeling tomorrow she's just going to make her decision right then and there.
I wouldn't be shocked.
She goes, I'm going to wait it out, but I think she's just going to. I think something's going to go down.
Yeah, that would be the match for me that we're going to be getting is Tiffany versus Charlotte at Mania. I feel like that is kind of the way to go there. And then after that, we went into our 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag team championships between DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. Motor City Machine Guns got the first fall. No, wait, it's the other way around. DIY got the first fall very quickly in this match. And then the match kind of opened up into a longer form tag match, which saw Motor City Machine Guns even it up. And then we went to the third fall. And then we saw the Street Profits show up. First time we've seen them since they were attacked a little while ago on SmackDown. They showed up. They attacked Motor City Machine Guns, which helps DIY secure the third fall and retain their tag team championships. But then after the match, they also attack DIY, and we see that they stand right at the bottom right near the ring, near the bottom of the entrance, holding up the tag titles. So Street Profits are back. Looks like they have a new attitude. Dawkins was walking around backstage all day on crutches, fooling everybody. Used the crutches as a weapon to attack those fellas. This obviously feels like we're heading straight to a multi-team match at Mania for those belts. Dan, we have our pal Dan in the chat saying long overdue heel type run for the Street Profits. I agree. I kind of want the Street Profits to have a heel run with those titles and win these things at Mania if they're going that route. But how did you guys enjoy this 2 out of 3 falls match? DC, why don't we have you start? Then we'll swap over to Wells. How'd you like this match?
Yeah, look, I really didn't have big expectations for the match. Because deep down, I kind of felt like it was going to end the way it did. Either it was going to end in DQ or somebody was going to help one team win. And I thought the Street Profits were going to be, because they kind of been teasing it for a little bit, that they were going to be going heel. So I thought it was either going to be them or Pretty Deadly to interfere in this match and make it interesting. So I'm with the chat. This is something that's long overdue. I would argue just a Montez heel run, but If I have to get a heel Montez along with Angelo Dawkins, I'll take it, because I think Montez is one of the most underrated, slept on wrestlers in the entire world. He just, he's been stuck in this tag team for so long where he's kind of got held back a little bit. So I'm really hoping they let him do a little bit more with this heel run and let him just give him a mic and let him cook.
Yeah. Wells?
I'm just glad that the tag team titles were finally defended on a WWE PLE, because it had been since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you that it's about time that the tag titles were defended on the PLE. So I really enjoyed that right off the bat. And DIY, they thrive in these 2 out of 3 falls match. That's their forte. They put on some really good 2 out of 3 falls match. And like DC said, I think the expectations going into this match I think a lot of people knew that DIY was going to retain, but it was the Street Profits afterwards that really got people talking, because I agree with you guys. A heel run with the Street Profits is what they need for them. And I love when they held the titles up, because that image to me was like, yeah, I'd love to see the Street Profits as the tag team champions as heels. I want that smoke.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah,
100%.
it'd be nice.
100%.
Nice little change of pace. I had Motor Mid City Machine Guns winning, but I like the way they ended up making it work.
Yeah, well, we got Dustin in the chat that says, personally, I would love it if they defended the tag team championships in the Elimination Chamber instead of WrestleMania. That'd be pretty cool. They have done a tag team one before. That would be pretty cool if they did that. But yeah, I really like, it's really on the SmackDown side of things. The Raw tag team side has really been the Judgment Day, held that down for so long, and they weren't defending it all the time. Now that it's on the War Raiders, I'm hoping it kind of opens it up a little bit.
I'm wondering how many people would even be able to tell us who the Raw tag team champions were.
Exactly. Right. But I've really liked what they've been doing on SmackDown, because you got the Street Profits, you got DIY, you got Motor City Machine Guns, you got Pretty Deadly, who I love. Pretty Deadly.
Los Garzas
as well. They have like 5 or 6 teams that have been kind of all intertwined in this story, and it really is putting a focus on the tag belts, which the tag belts throughout all, I mean, you can make an argument throughout a lot of wrestling, not just WWE, but the tag titles on both the women and men's side, they really need more of a focus. And I feel like on SmackDown, they're really starting to make them
the Wyatts.
Yeah, you got the Wyatts over there too. Like, they're starting to make them on SmackDown a focal point of the show every week with that story. I hope they can kind of spread it out to the Raw side and get some more formidable teams. Like, yeah, so over there, who do you have? The War Raiders, you got Judgment Day, you got the Creeds, LWO, maybe, yeah, that. I don't know anybody. Yeah, where on SmackDown it feels like there's a larger tag team roster over there. So I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing over there. And one thing that I also did like was this ladder match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. They beat the piss out of each other.
They said they go. There's 2 Royal Rumble matches. We're gonna go ahead and just steal the show right here.
Holy crap! Yep. This was brutal.
That's a main event. Any other show?
Oh my God, this was brutal. It was everything I want. It was 2 guys who don't like each other, beating the crap out of each other and using ladders as weapons to do so. It was wonderful. It felt very old school to me. Very like like these guys were like, hey, we're going to have like an 80s, early 90s style, just brutal match here. And it was
very
this
physical.
Thing was a thing of beauty. It was a thing of beauty. I knew Cody was going to win, and I am a Cody guy, but I was praying that Owens would pull this off. But
Owens' track record's not good at the Royal Rumble.
His track record since he won the world title in title match, it's just not good. It's been way overdue. He needs one this year. He needs one. He's earned it. He's so good. He's so damn good.
Doing some of the best work of his career. Maybe not of all time, but it's really good right now.
It's just tremendous stuff.
And it was good to see him recover, because, I didn't know how long that either of these guys were going to be, selling the injuries from the ladder match. But KO wasted no time going after Sami Zayn, because you know why? Sammy didn't have KO's back at the Rumble. He let Cody Rhodes win.
Yeah.
And shout out to that Alabama slam, by the way.
Oh, what a visual.
Wow.
Owens was folded like an accordion.
We heard that all the way up in the press box.
Yeah.
Like, I was that was loud.
Even before that, like, what a visual to end that match or be the catalyst to end that match. But that fisherman buster that Owens gave Cody off the top rope on that ladder was so brutal and gnarly looking, and Cody sold it perfectly. He kind of popped all the way up and just kind of fell over, and they stopped the match for a minute, and they had the officials and doctors checking on both. It was just so well done. KO was bleeding everywhere. Cody was beat up. Cody's banged up in real life, according to some of the reports. He's kind of really nicked up. So hopefully, there's no need for him to fight at Elimination Chamber, so you can give him off. Yeah.
I guess he was supposed to be at the press conference, but they even said that he had to be tended to in the medical tent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that happened, and I guess he's really banged up. But like I said, there's no reason for him to have to fight at Elimination Chamber. So give him as much time as he needs to get to Mania healthy. He can still be there to cut promos and wear his suits and look pretty and be Cody Rhodes that we need him to be.
Mm-hmm.
Let him rest. Let him rest. It's fine. But yeah, man, hell of a match between Owens and
I was with you. I was with you. I was wanting KO to win. I just wanted.
I think we all did.
I think we all did. Yeah, it's like it's nothing against Cody. I think we all like Cody. It's just it's more of wanting KO to get some love after being the fall guy for so long. Yeah, nothing to do with Cody really. So I was hoping, but we all knew and expected that Cody Rhodes will still be champion.
Yep. Yeah,
and shout out to Kevin Owens. Like this was something I noticed while we're watching that. Just like he knows he's not winning that thing, but he still goes out and he absolutely just puts every ounce that he had. Not that Cody didn't, but the spots that do that Alabama slam, go right ahead. He's of course going to okay that. And he's like, make it hurt, make it look brutal. I'll lay it all on the line for these fans that want me to win because KO's locked in. He knows how much these people like love him, and he's like, I'm going to give him a fucking show, and he absolutely did. So shout out to him. Yeah.
And then we saw, obviously we're going to talk about the men's rumble at length here, but we saw on Monday night, CM Punk and Sami Zayn had a terrific main event on Raw Monday. And we saw after that, injured and all, still had the cuts on his head. He was favoring his arm, played off the injuries from the rumble. We saw Kevin Owens show up, still wearing his Sami Zayn Forever shirt, mind you. Yeah. And he shows up and he gave Sami he gave him a package pile driver off air. They stretchered Sami out after this match. So obviously it seems like we're heading towards Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn maybe at Elimination Chamber, but Mania most likely. I'll tell you what, man, that package pile driver, that move, it just looks brutal. It just looks so brutal.
He delivers it perfectly. I mean, I know in the past people were afraid of that move because of how serious it can be. But KO, man, he makes it look so. I mean, it still looks very impactful, but he executes it very safely, and he's got that thing down to a T. And I really enjoy watching him hit people with the package pile driver. I get a huge pop out of that every time I see somebody take that move.
Yeah, big time. Big time. I mean,
all right, so how many of you guys had Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble? Raise your hand.
If anybody raises their hand,
I wanted him to win.
If anybody raises their hand,
I got my want. I got what I wanted.
I wanted to win. Come on now.
Yeah, we already know who you
I was just like, who out there picked that?
I didn't officially pick it, no. I had CM Punk winning, but I wanted Jay to win just because dude keeps losing, man. Like, he's so over. It's like sometimes you just gotta he's like forced their hand. He's so over, like he has the crowd control. He's been putting on some great matches over the past year. Yeah. So like I think he just deserved it.
Yeah, and I want to dive into that a little bit more when we start talking, because obviously there was a lot of stuff that came out after the Rumble from people on the interwebs, and I want to address that. But before we dive into that part of it, the Rumble started off with Rey Mysterio as the number one guy, and I know I was in the press box and I was saying, "Dom, I want to be make it Dom. I want Dom to be number 2. Please give me a Dom." But if it wasn't going to be Dom, the only other perfect answer was Penta.
Cero Medo.
There you go. And he taught you how to say that properly during your interview. He taught you
asked him
that was properly.
My favorite interview that I got at the media junket was with Penta.
Yeah. He was excellent. He was our first interview of the junket. And we had somebody in the chat earlier, they put over the interview and they said that he was very well spoken. They did not expect him to be as well spoken as he was. Yeah, he was. And you could tell that he is so happy to be there.
Exactly.
He is so happy to be there. And he knows how important he's hilarious. And he knows how important this is for him and his family and how much you can just
You could tell he didn't like the 3-minute interview rule. He wanted to keep talking. And we're like, we're like,
I'm like, bro, I'll talk to you long form anytime you want. Anytime you want, I'll talk to you long form.
It's not up to us.
This is not our decision. This is this. But you could tell he was like, we went up there and like we were setting up the camera and we say, hey, we do a show between two beards. Can you stand in between us? He's like, oh yeah. And he just puts his arms around us. He's like, yeah, whatever you need. And I'm just like, what the, like this guy, like I fell in love with him immediately.
Same.
And it was,
like
it was just,
you could just feel how appreciative and how happy he is to be in WWE.
Yeah.
And when Ray came out at 1 and Penta came out at 2, I was like, well, here is our WrestleMania 41 dream match.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a little taste of it. And I just want to go ahead and say 1 foot for Penta.
Yeah.
1 foot.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Listen,
1 foot.
Listen.
What do you
Shit
think?
happens.
What do you think?
I mean, look, I didn't investigate it enough, but it definitely looked like 2 feet.
They didn't either.
Look at regardless.
Listen, when we were sitting,
shit happens. Shit happens. It's not, whatever.
It happens.
It happens. I will say I did like, and I know me and DC talked about it for like a minute. The color of Penta's outfit at the Rumble was great looking color. But yeah, so they started, and then the Rumble kind of had some strides. Not a lot of no NXT people in the men's Rumble, and the only surprise, the AJ Styles return was a surprise.
No legends though, except count Cena. But
so we knew Cena was coming back. Obviously, AJ Styles with a kind of surprise return was nice, but really
he got murdered.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But really, the only real surprise to me in the Rumble was at number 15. We say his name, and he shall appear. And Joe Hendry, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, was in the Rumble. He also got a massive pop. And the crowd was singing the song. The press box was singing the song. And he was in there. He wasn't in there for a terribly long time, but he got his stuff in. He had a couple of his moves.
John Cena, too.
Yeah, he got a moment with Cena, which was cool.
Listen, I had whoever Cena eliminates from the Rumble is going to get a match out of it. Can we imagine a TNA World Championship match with John Cena and Joe Hendry?
He's been trying for it. He's been very vocal saying that he thinks.
I want that.
I saw an interview.
Like,
I saw an interview with him where he said that he truly believed he was going to have a match with John Cena this year. So I don't know if
Cena in TNA. Now that would be a sight to see because obviously we've never seen that before.
Yeah.
We've rarely ever seen Cena in another promotion. I know he did the ECW One Night Stand, but you physically put Cena in TNA. Yep. That's going to be one of the most watched episodes of TNA of all time.
Easily. And so, Jacob Fatu.
I'm booking money.
Jacob Fatu came out, and I thought everything that Jacob Fatu did in the Rumble was excellent. I actually thought he was going to have a more prominent role in the Rumble than he ended up having, but I thought his spots were very good. They made him look like a beast like they have been doing. Roman was really the first big star. Big star.
Wow, way to just gloss over our guy I Show Speed, who's an absolute mega star. Akira Tozawa, justice for Akira Tozawa for one. Deserves his moment.
So but Carmelo Hayes got eliminated.
Got absolutely murdered.
And
Tozawa, I think he dodged a bullet. Honestly.
I think so. That was going to be him. That was going to be him.
Probably looking at it going, you know what?
Yeah. So we had that spot where Carmelo gets eliminated and Tozawa comes out and Carmelo in frustration attacked Tozawa. He's taken out of the Rumble. There was a little backstage thing. Triple H looks over. He goes,
give me Speed.
He goes, Speed. He sees I Show Speed and he goes, you're in the Rumble. And I Show Speed's like, what? And he goes, you're in the Rumble. And so I Show Speed runs out there. He eliminates somebody, by the way. I Show Speed eliminated somebody.
Yeah.
So he has an elimination in the Rumble.
He eliminated Otis. That's why Otis threw him over the top.
So he eliminates Otis.
The big elimination.
And he's celebrating with Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker's like, yeah, all right, yeah. And he does, and so I Show Speed does a backflip. And as he's doing the backflip, Braun Breaker's just start, and it's like, and everybody knew. And he's going at least 30 miles an hour. And I'm gonna tell you, this spear might have been the most violent looking spear I've ever seen thrown in professional wrestling. I Show Speed's body was over here, but his head and legs was still here. Yeah, and then they all just snapped. And Braun Breaker landed right on top of him, like shoulder for. Oh, man.
He was not showing speed there. That dude, he's still feeling it to this day.
Has to be.
He said on his stream yesterday he's never coming back because he hasn't been able to walk for 2 days. Yeah. And then Logan Paul came out and said, I taught him how to take a spear. He took it wrong.
I would think.
I don't know how you take that right. Spear. I don't think there's a right way to take that. I Show Speed.
You're not literally broken in half.
Yeah,
you're like 100. You're like 150 pounds.
Like, did he know he was getting it? Like, that's my question.
I would assume he would have to.
It legitimately looked like he did not know it was coming because, like,
it was like because he wasn't facing Braun like straight. And like he turned at the last moment, and when he got hit, like I said, like his head like whiplashed, and it was just, and he just, and that was another thing where the whole press box, was like, holy shit! It was like not even like a cheer. It was like oh my, is he alive? Is he alive?
To make matters worse, Braun eliminates him.
Yeah.
Otis catches him, and then Otis throws him into the announcer's table.
Oh my god!
I thought for sure Otis was going to throw him back in so that he wasn't eliminated to take another one. But then the little mean streak from Otis, and that's kind of what I love about Royal Rumbles overall. Is like even the baby faces when they get eliminated can get a little heated, and he's like, "You eliminated me, yeet," and he just tossed it.
He lost him.
And then I know people hated that moment. Some people didn't think it was worth the bluest
harmless. Harmless.
I thought it was so
harmless.
Fun.
What? So it's harmless. It's harmless. And and don't get me wrong. Like I am somebody who I don't know a ton about that fella. I don't know a ton about Kai Cenat. I know they're big time streamers. They have like the most followers ever, and I know what I'm supposed to know, but I don't know a ton about those guys. But that. First of all, from a business perspective, it's Genius. A friggin' no-brainer.
Genius.
Yeah.
That tweet that they put out showing that spear was the most liked wrestling tweet of all time, and it was like in 24 hours.
Why he was there. That's why I Show Speed was there.
100%. And I think Triple H at the press conference said at some point during the day there were over 1 million people watching his Speed stream when he was at the Rumble. Like that, it's a no-brainer. And when you think about, and our pal Josh Robinson, he's from our pal from Australia. He was like, I was watching the Rumble with my family. I really had no idea who that guy was. My sister and brother-in-law really didn't, but my 15-year-old brother was losing his mind when he saw I Show Speed. He was like, he didn't even know he was going to be there, like losing it. And I sit there and I go, that's exactly because if you can get the kids. At 14, 15, those kids that's the demographic, you get them to buy your product and be into wrestling, then you got them for life, man.
Yeah, and then you end up then you go to the WWE Superstore and spending a boatload of money on merch.
That's part of it. Look at it, it's part of it. It's part of it. You're gonna buy money for the tickets if you're super into it and you can.
Not that I did that or anything.
You're gonna do what you got to do. We're all wrestling fans. We know how we are. If we have the means, we're buying the merch. We're going to the shows. That's when you buy into wrestling, you buy in, man. You literally buy in, and it's part of the thing. And
your bank account is gonna feel like I Show Speed getting hit by Braun Breaker.
And Austin
part of this community is once you get them hooked, everybody's in.
Yeah, and our pal Shep in the chat says Vince would have never done that. Says Trips understands the new the current day social media, and that is what is making this feel and this vibe that we're getting at these shows and all the sellouts and all. That's part of it. Is they are way more in tune with pop culture and what is going on around. Like we see these athletes and we see these younger generation of celebrities. Yeah, we did see we saw John Cougar Mellencamp there. We saw a little bit of celebrity for everybody, right? But we see all these people that are attracting all demographics, all ages, Travis Scott on the show a month ago. You know what I mean? We had what the hell was the guy that was there on Monday from Quavo. Walking down with Jey Uso. These are big time stars that are
Matthew McConaughey was there.
Exactly.
Well,
That's an
it's like-
Academy Award-winning
like-
actor. You know,
It's like Triple H actually he touched on that in the press conference a little bit that night. He said it used to be like we would go to these people and say, hey, would you like to do this spot? Would you be interested in coming in and doing something? And he said now they're turning celebrities and influencers away because so many people want to be a part of what they're doing. So it's been a very cool thing to see on that end, because I'm of the ilk that, like, the Royal Rumble, I don't care, do whatever you want. I don't get upset about spots being blown or taken and things. Just have fun with it because it's the Royal Rumble. And Shep, that was my favorite moment of the weekend as we're sitting at GCW and he's texting us in a group and he's texting JPJ and going, how's the view? Really cool, man. It's good to see you at GCW. And then he was like, where's Pluggo?
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sitting right next to him. I've been here the whole time. He didn't know I was there. He thought JPJ flew down to Indiana just to hang out by himself.
Sure did. That was a fun time.
Thanks, Jeff.
But so then we get this stretch in the men's Rumble where back to back, it's John Cena, it's CM Punk, it's Seth Rollins. And Roman is in the ring waiting for all of them.
Wells has disappeared at this point.
Yeah, Wells is.
By the way,
yeah,
I look over and he's gone.
Yeah, I may or may not have found a really cool spot to get a really cool video because I wanted to capture that reaction of Cena entering the Rumble. Because keep in mind, this is my very first ever Royal Rumble that I attended live.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's John Cena's last Royal Rumble in my home city of Indianapolis, Indiana, I just thought, man, you couldn't have wrote this any better for arguably one of the biggest John Cena fans of all time. So, yeah, I may have stepped away for a split second to make sure I really embraced this moment. And, when Cena came in at number 23 in honor of the 23 years that he's been in WWE, I lost it. I have my voice back. But a couple days after the Rumble, my voice was very shot from me just yelling Cena, and I'm not gonna do it right now because I don't want to blow out your guys' speakers. But yeah, that visual, JPJ, of Cena, Reigns, and Punk when they're all standing there, I had goosebumps. And then Seth Rollins comes in, and I'm like, this is insane here.
And
what
I think at one point in the ring, there were 9 guys in the ring, and it was John Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, and I forget the other 2, but it was like you're looking in the ring and you're like, this is as star-studded a thing that I have seen. But all right, we know that Doc needs to hop out of here in a few. So DC, so why don't you plug your stuff? Make sure you get all that out there so people know where they can find all your stuff. Because like we said, you released a Dynamite article today, and you do write a bunch of stuff, and you do some stuff for Body Slam and things of that nature. So let the people know before you have to hop out of here in a minute where they can find your stuff.
Yeah, real quickly. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me again, by the way. I write for ScreenRant.com. All kinds of WWE articles. You can find them there. I do a Tuesday night NXT post show with my co-host Amanda Savage, who commented earlier. Shout out to her. We do that post show for Body Slam each and every Tuesday after NXT. And you can check out my podcast with some friends of mine up here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's called WrestleHolics Podcast. We host that each and every week as well, and it is broadcasted live on 1380 The Fan in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is a Fox sports station. So check it all out there. I'm at DC Hendrix on Twitter and at official DC Hendrix on TikTok and Instagram.
Hell yeah. DC, obviously very happy to have you here tonight. We'll get you back on here real soon. It's open door policy, man. So whenever you're around, whenever you're available, you give us a shout, but we'll be giving you a shout. We'll get you back on here real soon, my dude.
Thanks so
for
much
popping
for
in, man.
Thanks so much for having me. Wells Mania, good to see you again, brother. We got to catch up.
See you, DC.
Yep. See you guys.
Take it easy.
Brother.
Thank you, DC. So DC Hendrix, go follow him.
About you were crying.
I know.
Rumble.
Yeah, go follow him. Go check out all his stuff. He had a great article today. He's a great dude. Yeah, super great dude. So yeah, we have all that star power in the ring, and everyone's like, "Who the hell is going to win? Who's winning this?" And then we get to this moment where where Seth Rollins and Roman are in the ropes, and CM Punk comes from behind. He dumps them both out in a shocking elimination of both Rollins and Roman. And Punk's kind of looking at him. Roman is barking at Punk. And then out of nowhere, Logan Paul comes from behind Punk and dumps Punk out.
Yeah.
They're still yelling at each other. And then we saw Seth Rollins a double foot stomp to Roman Reigns, which looked so brutal. And then him and Punk are brawling. Heyman is yelling everywhere out there. At one point, Rollins and Heyman are screaming at each other. Heyman thinks that Rollins is going to attack him. Rollins chucks Heyman the bird. He gives another stomp to Roman on top of the steps. So Rollins kind of loses it. And all this happens. So we have that moment. And then all of a sudden, we're down to the final three in the ring. And the final three in the ring are John Cena, Logan Paul, and Jey Uso. And those are the final three. And I think listen, if you told me you were picking Jey Uso and you picked Jey Uso, fine, I might believe you. But I think in this moment, we were down to the final three. I think in everybody's brain, we were going, John Cena. This is John Cena's taking this.
It felt like it because when I'm sitting there, because I'm back by you guys at this point.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, he's gonna do it. He's gonna win his third Royal Rumble, and he's gonna earn that spot at WrestleMania. And then all of a sudden, it didn't happen.
Yeah. So Logan Paul gets out, and the final two are Jey Uso and John Cena. Now, at this moment, Pluggo and I had to make our way down to the other side of the press box because we were lucky enough to be chosen to go to the press conference after the show. So we go down to the second side of the press box, and it's on TV, and we're there with some of the other people that were going to the press box. So we got to watch it around people for reactions and things like that. And I'm telling Pluggo, I'm like, man, this is so great for Jey Uso. Final two against Cena, like that's such a good spot. Look how much faith the company has it. And I'm saying this like under the assumption that he's finishing as the runner-up. That's in my brain.
I said
he's gonna finish second.
If he wins it, it's a good moment for him. If he loses, it's another big loss. And JPJ goes, no, he's still second.
Dude, he's in the final two with Cena, man.
I go,
like,
but the way his trajectory's going, he keeps taking these losses. He needs to win this thing, and then he shockingly won the damn
so they do that spot when they're on the outside of the apron. Cena's hanging, dangling off the apron. He goes to give Jey the attitude adjustment, which on the apron, Jey gets in the ring, kicks Cena off, and out of nowhere, Jey Uso is the winner of the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble. Great moment. Cena gets back in the ring. They have a hug. And Jey was very open about, in the press conference and in some media the next day about what Cena said to him. You could tell it meant a lot to Jey, what Cena said to him in that moment. And it was really a crowning. I almost felt like a crowning of like Jey Uso is like, we're behind you. Like, we believe you are a WrestleMania main eventer. And the company has your back. And it kind of felt like in that moment, listen, like I said it the next day because, and I do want to talk about this a little bit, but we saw a lot of discourse of people saying, Jey Uso winning the Rumble, blah, blah, blah. And we'll get into it heavy because I have a lot to friggin' say about that. But in that moment, I could not feel anything other than happiness for Jey Uso.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so happy for that guy, man. Like, I'm so happy for that guy. Like, he earned that shit. He earned that shit.
Plus, it would have been, and Wells could probably speak to this as the Cena stan of the group. But now it kind of gives you at least like, okay, they're not just going to do it right away at WrestleMania, the easy way, night one. Kind of gives you a little bit more to think about over the next, 6 weeks as a Cena guy going, all right, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Can he win the chamber now? So it was kind of a good idea, right? Or did you want it? You wanted it.
Well,
because when it came down to Logan Paul, Jey Uso, and John Cena, for a split second, I thought, how funny would it be if Logan Paul wins this thing?
The internet would have
The
burned
amount
to the
of
ground.
heat.
Yeah, the internet would have
The
burned.
amount of
Charlotte and Logan Paul, your Royal Rumble
my
winners.
God.
Woo.
So when Logan got tossed, then it came down to Jay and John, and I'm just like, I'm okay with whoever wins here because John does not need this Royal Rumble victory. He will get to WrestleMania. He will get there, and it's going to be the chamber, but he will get there. He'll get his title match. So then I'm thinking, if Jay actually pulls this off, this is a massive victory for Jey Uso, one that Pluggo said he desperately needed after all the losses that Jey Uso's been piling up. Winning the men's Royal Rumble now catapults him to a guaranteed championship match at WrestleMania, where all signs are pointing to Gunther as the opponent to Jay. And I said this on Wells Mania podcast, and I told you guys this as well. Jey Uso is Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan back at WrestleMania 30 got that payoff. Yeselmania. Jey Uso is going to get that payoff at WrestleMania 41 for Yeetamania. So it's going to be all worth it. And just the look on John Cena's face, he sold the elimination perfectly. And like Pluggo said, when he got back into the ring and just showed that respect and that appreciation to Jay for winning the men's Rumble, you could tell that meant a lot to Jey Uso. And you guys were both there for the post-show press conference, and I was
he was
sad
trying
that,
to be cool.
Yeah, he was trying to be cool.
JPJ didn't get a chance to ask Cena a question, but I did like the way that Cena addressed this, and he was very serious and straight to the point. And I think for the first time that I can remember, he came out and said that he's gonna earn that championship match and he's gonna win.
I was very intrigued. Oh, did we lose Wells
world title?
Oh no, sorry.
And
I was very intrigued by it because there was a sense, not from a negative standpoint, I don't think, but Cena had like a little bit of a sense of entitlement in that promo as well. So it was like a little bit of like, it was a little different side of Cena. We've seen him be serious before. We've seen him say, I'm going to work my ass off and earn it. But like when he came out and he was like, what's best for this company is me being in the main event of WrestleMania. Yeah. Like John Cena doesn't talk like that. He doesn't talk like that really. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like I don't think he's not going. I'm not even going to say the word. He's not doing that. He's going to be this John Cena.
Going heel?
It added a layer. No, but it added a layer of a different side of John Cena. And if he doesn't
aggression side,
maybe way back when he did start out when his first major character, he was a bad guy way back when, way back when. I don't think he's going to be this time, but it did seem like he was leaning into a little bit of, different stuff. Now I would pick him as the favorite to win the Elimination Chamber. But again, what if he doesn't? I think he will, but what if he doesn't? Does that add another layer of this to John Cena? And then
he ends up in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Oh, well, that's a little much. Weekend. I don't think he would drop down the card that much, but you know what I mean. But I think
if he doesn't win the chamber, what spots does he have available?
I think he's gonna. So I've been trying to book. Okay. I'm going to address this, okay.
Look at that awesome screen, how it shrinks down when you push a comment. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of myself.
So here's my thing. Here's my thing with the Cody heel turn. So I've always said it seems like we're going to get John Cena and Cody at WrestleMania. It seems like that's what they're trying to do. It feels like it's going that way. I am very much going to like that match. I am very much going to be in on that match. I want that to be his last match, though. I am very of the proponent that it should be December, Saturday night's main event. I'm a homer, so I'm going to say it should be in Boston. That's where he's billed from Massachusetts. It should be there. It should be Cena versus Cody in his last match. And I think Cody should turn heel on John Cena in his last match. And then we'd go into 2026 with heel brunette Cody Rhodes going into 2026. That's what I would do. But obviously, we're going to get Cody and Cena at Mania, and I'm not going to complain about it. It's going to be great.
It's not obvious. It's not obvious. He's got.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Chamber, man.
I think it's pretty obvious. I think that's where we're going. However, I will say, because we did see CM Punk qualify as well, I need the final two in the Elimination Chamber to be John Cena and CM Punk.
I'd love that.
I need that little bit of a tease, kind of like I need that little bit of a tease. Because we know we're probably going to get that legit one-on-one match at some point this year between Punk and Cena. I would have them either start it as 1 and 2, start it with Punk and Cena, but I think it would be a real good piece of business if they were the final two. And you have CM Punk, who's itching for his WrestleMania main event finally, and he has to go through John Cena,
who wants
his
in
title
match, didn't earn it.
Yes. And then if Cena beats him, Punk can go, mother effer, I still don't have my main event. That guy didn't even have to qualify for that match. And it's just, that's the way I feel like Punk that should go.
Get his WrestleMania main event. I mean,
I think that's where the favor is going to come in.
This is the second year, because if Jay's locking up the spot with Gunther and then Cody,
it seems they're doing a triple threat with him, Roman, and Seth. But I think the way they're going to do it is I think they're going to book it as Seth versus Roman one-on-one at first. And then I think Punk is going to ask his favor of Heyman and say, you're putting me in that match.
Now, do you feel like that is worthy of the night one main event?
I am an old school person. I think if you win the Royal Rumble, you should get a main event.
Yeah.
So I think that Charlotte, whoever she chooses, should be fighting at night one main event. And, obviously Jey Uso, or if you want to go vice versa, Jey Uso night one, and whatever you want to do. But I think whoever wins a Royal Rumble should get a main event. But I am not going to sit here and say that Roman Reigns is not going to be in a main event at WrestleMania. I think Roman is a title at this point.
Modern day Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. And I think that whether there's a title involved or not, I think if Roman Reigns is involved, it will be the main event of a night of WrestleMania. So I could see, especially if it's a triple threat of that magnitude with those three guys, I could see that being the night one main event. And then the night two is whatever Cody and Cena. See, but my thing is, are you going to have both main events?
All I know
they're not going to be either because I would think that Cena and Cody would be a main event, not the Rumble winners, right?
Someday CM Punk will main event the night 4 of a buy one get one free pay-per-view main event WrestleMania extravaganza. Didn't he say that at one point to a certain wrestler in AEW?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And now he'll be one of those guys main event.
He's going to be one of those guys. And they're like, you know what? Every other pay-per-view now has 2 nights. WrestleMania 4 nights. Start on Thursday, going to Sunday.
Dude, don't rule that out. I mean, that I can definitely see Triple H and Nick Khan being like, what if we decided to go 4 nights?
Yeah.
4 nights of WrestleMania. Yeah.
TNA WrestleMania on Thursday, SmackDown WrestleMania on Friday.
NXT WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's true.
Hey, I'll watch.
So I did want to address all the kind of crap that came around the Jey Uso stuff.
Yeah.
Because it bothered me. And I'm not going to yell. I know people know that I do something. I'm not going to yell.
Sure.
I'm not going to yell.
Sure, he's not well.
No.
Hey, I can't hear very well these days, so yell all the way.
Yeah, so for me, the way that I looked at it is, did you all see what the opening of Raw, where Jey Uso couldn't say a word in a promo for 12 minutes because the crowd wouldn't let him? And when they got to the point where the crowd was still singing his song and yeeting, that they had to turn the music back on so he could continue to do that entrance with the crowd. So you see that, and there are people out there that want to tell me that man didn't deserve to win the Royal Rumble. You mentioned Daniel Bryan and WrestleMania 30. Do you remember how many times the regime in charge tried to tell us that it wasn't going to be Daniel Bryan?
Oh yeah.
Before they did not have a choice. Do you remember Kofi Mania? Wasn't a Rumble thing. Same thing. Do you remember the old regime and how many times things got organically over where they basically said, hey, you know what? We know you like it, but fuck you. We don't care. Yeah. It's not our plan. It's not happening. And now we have a guy who sells the most merch, who is easily the most over in the company, and they actually go with them and say, hey, you know what? We're going to go with the most over guy, and people still bitch. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Those fans are fickle. That
unbelievable.
Are booing Jey Uso, and I feel like sometimes they just do it because they don't know what else to do, and they're already miserable as is. So they see this really awesome moment of Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. It's a great feel-good moment. It's a great story. Even though my boy Cena lost, I was very happy for Jey that he won the Rumble because I know how big that is for him. But yeah, you've got these haters, these jabronis out here on Twitter, and it's like, y'all are just miserable. And here's the thing, fellas. If Cena would have won the Rumble, they'd be bitching and complaining that Cena won the Rumble. He didn't need to win that. He was already going to be in a championship match at Mania.
Give it to somebody who can
won. I mean, it doesn't matter because those fans are going to find something to always complain about. But here's the thing. I don't really listen to them. The older I'm getting, the less don't get me wrong. I see it and I scroll it and past it, but I don't really give my energy to those negative wrestling fans because I think that's really what they're trying to get. They're trying to get us to fight with them, and they're going to lose that battle when they go up against me because I'm not going to give them the time of the day to interact with them on Twitter. I'll talk to you guys about it all day long.
Yeah,
but I won't feed into the haters.
It's just like, and you see the emotion that was on his face on Monday. He's clearly emotional. He's crying. He's talking about his family. Like you just see, and it's like, I think I put on Twitter, I was like, look, I don't care whether you wanted him to win or not. But again, like, tell me, but you saying that guy didn't deserve or isn't worthy of that moment, you're just get out of here.
It was a shock.
Just
and it was
get out of here with that.
They would have complained about, like, oh, you went safe. No, they went with something in the most star-studded Royal Rumble as they've ever had.
Ever.
They went with Jey Uso, the most over guy in the company, and it was a great moment. It was shocking.
Of course.
But yeah, like, there you go. And listen, I gotta say, there's still plenty of time on this road, as we learned last year. When they tried to swerve us with something, we said we didn't like it. They changed course and gave us what we wanted. So, like, there's still 2 months until
we have over
WrestleMania.
2 months. Yeah,
a lot can happen, and maybe there's more to this Jey winning thing, the family thing. We saw Roman tweeted yeet. There's the favor that Punk still owed from Paul Heyman. Like, there's still ways around. Like, just let it play out in this moment. But yeah, they made the right call. They gave us a guy that we didn't expect, and that fans were behind, and people are going to hate on whatever.
And I think it's really cool that Jey Uso is now the 4th member of the Bloodline to win the Royal Rumble. It all started with Yokozuna, and then The Rock and Roman Reigns, and then now Jey Uso. It just continues to add a great legacy to the Bloodline and the Samoan family. And I love a good shock. I love a good swerve, because in the world that we live in, where literally everything is running wild on Twitter and the dirt sheets, it's nice to be genuinely surprised every now and then. It just feels like the good old days when you used to watch wrestling and you you had no idea what was going to happen. I felt that watching the Royal Rumble when it came down to Cena and Jey Uso. I was like, I legitimately have no idea who's going to win this Rumble because I can see it going either way. And when Jey won, I agree with you guys. I think, and I know it pains me to go against my boy Cena, but I do think that was the right move.
Yeah. And and again, I just, at the end of the day, was he my pick? He was not my pick. But
Jey
in that
Uso was a 66-1 shot to win the Royal Rumble.
If you would have put some money on that, you would have had a real.
I was wondering what his odds
payday there. Put $100 on that. You're feeling good about yourself. You're going to
WrestleMania.
Yeah, probably. You could probably afford to go. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then that kind of capped off what was a great Royal Rumble event, but experience for all of us as well. So, Wells, before we kind of finish up here and things like that, like if you had to pick one takeaway from the Rumble, whether it is on the wrestling side or whether your first experience in the media, what's really the one thing or maybe few things that are going to stick out to the most to you about the weekend that you had there?
I'm just really glad that Indianapolis got the opportunity to show what we are capable of. And once again, we prove the doubters, the naysayers wrong. Anyone who says that WWE isn't as over as it is clearly didn't see that the attendance record at the Royal Rumble was broken. The Lucas Oil Stadium attendance record was broken. Take that, Taylor Swift. I know there's a lot of Swifties out there.
Whoa!
Is that who they beat? She had the record?
Don't get the Swifties coming after us now.
Listen, Taylor Swift's about to win another Super Bowl. So
I was going to ask you before you left. We're going to get a score prediction.
It's in the script. The Chiefs are going. They're doing the 3-team. But yeah, man, that was probably one of my biggest takeaways was how proud I am of the city of Indianapolis. I've been here my whole life. I've been patiently waiting since 1992 for WrestleMania to return, and now that Triple H and Nick Khan got a taste of what it's going to be like for WrestleMania to come to Lucas Oil Stadium, it gets me really excited for the future. SummerSlam obviously coming back to Indy, but I'm really already excited for WrestleMania. And another takeaway was I got to hang out with you guys, which was really fun because we all, that was the first time all three of us were in person together.
Yeah.
And I know we've interacted on here, we interact on social media, but it's just really cool to all come together and be in person and experience this together. And I thought that was really awesome getting to experience this with you guys at the media junket, inside the press box. I'm just very thankful for the opportunity that WWE gave us to be able to do that. And like I said, I'm just hoping that I am able, and I'm sure you guys are able, to get more opportunities to showcase our passion, our dedication to pro wrestling, and our love, man, our love for this business. It unites us all together. And 70,000 plus.
That was good.
It doesn't get much bigger than that.
I had so much fun hanging out with you that I've already started to plant the seeds to come down for Squared Circle Expo in April.
Come on, baby. The weekend after WrestleMania, come on down to the Squared Circle Expo at the Wyndham Indianapolis West. I'll be running wild all throughout that convention, and I'd love to do a lot of content with you, Pluggo. And JPJ, if you want to fly in for
I got to fly in for that one. I got to fly in. We'll see.
Good, man.
We'll see.
It's the best convention in the Midwest, Squared Circle Expo.
Hell yeah. So I know you said it was in the script, but do you have a final prediction and score prediction for Sunday's big game, the Super Bowl?
Well, the last time these two teams faced off in the Super Bowl,
it was a good one.
Very close game.
Yes.
And I think we're going to get that again. The Eagles, I mean, I'm not selling the Eagles short.
Nope.
They earned
two
their
great
spot.
teams. It's two great teams.
Yeah, they earned their spot in the Super Bowl. It was all part of the script for them to get there as well. Take that, Wheezy Blonde and your Detroit Lions. Shots fired. I know. But no, man, I'm going with Kansas City. I think the final score, it'll probably be in the 30s again. I'll do the same score as it was the last Super Bowl. Give me the exact same score. What was that? 38 to
34th for the 30, 38, 34.
28 to 24. Eagles Shep said. Fly, Eagles fly. Said God.
Please get out of here.
Listen,
let me go to the Google. Let me go to the Google real quick here.
Listen, I think the Eagles are gonna be all right, but I can't pick.
I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I cannot. Yeah.
Here's my final score. It's a repeat. From a few years ago. Kansas City 38, Philadelphia 35.
35. That's good. I actually have Kansas City winning 33-30. So I'm close. I'm close in that. Here's my thing. Who I'm really rooting for is the Meteor. Because this is just brutal. As brutal a matchup as we can have here. Like besides these two fan bases of these teams, nobody wants to see either of these teams win a friggin' Super Bowl. Period. Yeah. End of story. They are the two most insufferable fan bases to exist in football. As a Patriots fan, I don't want to deal with the Mahomes and the Chiefs side of it. Not true. Not true at all. Last time I checked, even if he wins, he will have 4, and Tom Brady has 7. Not even close. Not even close. That is true. If Mahomes wins, they will be the first three-peat, and I will tip my hat. That is a great feat. But guess what? If they get the three-peat and then they never win it again, and they only end at 4, don't mean shit. Don't mean shit. It don't mean shit. I mean, it means that he's right in the discussion, but that was different. He played in a league with 8 teams. It's different. It's different.
And then there was a guy that came along. I don't know.
Michael Jordan,
guy from North Carolina.
Yeah,
that really changed the game of
basketball. LeBron James went to North Carolina.
Stop it!
LeBron didn't go to college. Pluggo.
Yeah, stop it.
That's right.
I could also go into the argument, and again, I'm not anti-Mahomes at all. You can ask Pluggo. I'm a pro Mahomes guy. I root for. He's a once in a generation guy, dude. I root for greatness. He's a great player. I respect watching what we've been able to watch with him and the Chiefs. But at the same time, the asinine argument that he's even remotely close to Tom Brady is just not true. It's just not true. When he gets to 6, he will be close to Tom Brady. He's not even at 4 yet. So can we all relax? And last time I checked, Tom Brady's first half of his career, he was playing football when you could actually play defense and quarterbacks actually got hit. Tom Brady missed a whole year of playing because someone went low and hurt his knee when you could actually breathe on a quarterback without a flag being thrown.
Good reference.
Nobody wants to talk about that, how Mahomes is playing in an era where he can't get breathed upon without a flag.
Oh, she's definitely still got it.
Yeah, she's got it.
I do have a question for both of you guys regarding the Super Bowl. Is Travis Kelce going to propose to Taylor Swift? Are we going to get that?
If they win, I think there is a 75% chance.
He already has.
Wait, what? You think he already has? That's fair. That's fair.
But I could see him retiring if they get this three-peat.
I think he should, because honestly, I had Travis Kelce in fantasy football this year, and he let me down.
Yeah, well, it's okay because he was still the top voted tight end to make it to the Pro Bowl, because that's legit.
That told me, oh man, Travis Kelce might be hanging it up if the Chiefs do win this Super Bowl.
I do think if they win,
they might do the proposal thing.
I think if they win, there's a chance. But look at the only thing I'm rooting for is that it's a good game because I love football and it's a Super Bowl and it's a spectacle and I want to see the commercials. I'm going to watch the game. I hope I can enjoy the game if it's a good game, but I don't want either of these teams to win. But
now we do have ourselves a pretty entertaining halftime.
I was going to
show.
say, I'm very excited for Kendrick Lamar. SZA is going to be with him. Yeah, it's going to be good.
My fiance has introduced me to SZA, and she's got a banger album out right now. A lot of those songs are really good.
You never heard of
Look her up. Look her up.
No, she's good. You know Kendrick.
I
assume you know Kendrick Lamar.
I do know Kendrick, but
all right. Yeah, he's going to be great. Again, it's two great teams. I'm expecting a good game of football. I just, at the end of the day, I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I can't pick him because, to me, and I know I mentioned Brady a lot, he has the same thing with Brady, where if he has the ball and he has a chance to win the game, he's winning the game.
Yep.
That's just how it is. It was the same thing with Brady, and it's the same thing with him. If he has the ball with the chance to win, he's doing it. And I can't pick against him. I can't pick against him. And at the end of the day, I'm a logical sports fan. And I know that even if the Chiefs win, yes, the three-peat is impressive, and I will tip my cap to them. But 4 is not 6. 4 is not 7. And I would rather the Chiefs win and get number 4 than anything happy happening to the fans of Philadelphia. So that's why I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs, 33-30.
A three-peat.
Impressive as hell.
It's never been done before in the NFL. So I think that the script definitely does call for the first ever three-peat Super Bowl winner. And fellas, don't be surprised if the Chiefs are back there again next year for a
I mean, yeah.
Going crazy.
Mahomes has, like, there are other great quarterbacks in the league. Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts is one of them. There are other great quarterbacks in the league, but Mahomes to this point still does not have an equal. Yeah, there is nobody that can beat him. Manning could beat Brady occasionally. You know, like they all had that guy.
This is why Mahomes I'm a wrestling
still doesn't
fan.
have that guy yet.
Football is
that's why I keep involving the word script into this to tie it back into pro wrestling.
I like that pro wrestling that's real. It's still real to me, damn it.
Pro wrestling's everywhere. You could literally make a pro wrestling reference about anything, and I love that.
100%. All right. We went a little bit over, but we had a jam-packed episode. We want to thank DC.
I need to show you guys something real quick.
Oh, do it, yeah. We want to thank DC Hendrix. We know he had to bounce a little bit early.
I saw this on socials earlier.
Did you? Yeah. So we want to thank him for joining us earlier. He plugged all his stuff. We'll put some stuff out there, but go check him out. He's a great dude. We finally got to meet over this past weekend. We'll have him back on the show. Yeah. Oh, did you buy a John Cena championship?
I did not.
We got it gifted to him.
I got it gifted to me on episode 161 of Wells Mania Podcast. My boys, Peyton Payne, Jared Giles, JD Roach, and Chris Engel, they all went in and got me an early wedding present, the John Cena Indianapolis.
Wow. That's a spinner. That spins. That's a spinner.
Are you going to wear that during your wedding?
Is that going over the tuxedo at the wedding?
Yeah, is that the cummerbund?
Or how about this? How about you throw it on to the entrance into the party? That could probably get away with that. You could probably get away with that.
That is where I think I'll get the green light.
You could probably get away with
the actual ceremony. I gotta stay in character.
Ophelia wants to know.
Ophelia in the chat. Oh, sorry, I think we clicked at the same time. Ophelia said, "You gonna defend that?"
Always.
You gonna defend
always.
That? What's up?
If you want some, come get some.
I love it. Wells, thanks for joining us tonight. Always welcome here. Plug your stuff. Let the people know where they can find you and all your content before we get out of here, man.
No, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Big fan of what you guys do. Love that I got to see it firsthand at the media junket. If anybody wants to follow me, you can follow me literally everywhere at Wells Mania across the grid. I host a wrestling podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts called Wells Mania Podcast. We put out new episodes every week. I'm trying to get my YouTube page to have some life in it. Again, I posted my interviews from the media junket at the Wells Mania YouTube page. And I'm also a local pro wrestler here in Indiana. Mega Mondo is my character. So if you want to see me actually
throw you out of a couple of Royal Rumbles there, Battle Royals.
You heard that, didn't you, PLUGGO?
Yeah.
A couple times.
just a couple times. But yeah, I do the local pro wrestling. I'm in year 7 now, so I'm just very, very thankful that I can get in there and live out my childhood dream of being a local pro wrestler or sports entertainment for all the haters out there. I definitely love I just love performing in front of a crowd. There's no better rush of adrenaline than entertaining in front of a crowd of people who are just as rowdy and passionate about this product as you are. So yeah, those are pretty much everywhere you can find me. And anytime you guys ever need me for anything, I'm literally just one call, one text, one tweet away. Just thank you guys for doing what you do. And I got to get some Between Two Beards merch.
You can get some merch, Pluggo.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, why don't you let the people know?
Teespring.com/Between Two Beards. You'll find our shirts and hats. And I'll send you the link like you sent me yours because you got merch too, Wells. I got to buy me a hat. I told Wells I'm in my hat here because I'm fat.
Brainbustertees.com if you want to get Wells Mania or Mega Mondo merch, you can get it on there. And yeah, you would look great in a Wells Mania podcast hat.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we would.
They're recently priced as well.
Hell yeah. As he shouldn't, Scott. As he shouldn't. Pluggo, why don't you do the damn thing? Let the people know where they can find our stuff, where they can find your stuff. Do the thing.
My stuff. You can find my stuff at Pluggo on all social media platforms. You just search Pluggo and you'll see my face. The show page at B2Beards on all social media platforms as well to stay up to date with what we've got going on as a show. All of our interviews are dropping this week in full, but we do have if you want to see kind of a cut of all of the fun Royal Rumble stuff, super cut right here on Love Wrestling CA on YouTube. The Penta interview is out now. Nia Jax dropped today. Tiffany Stratton dropping later this week. We've got a couple of other things coming out the way. If you want to know when that's going to drop, you kind of have to hang out over at Love Wrestling CA on all social media platforms, and they'll tell you when that fun stuff is dropping as well, just as we will. So stay up tuned to that. And then Saturday morning, 10 a.m., I am back with my good friend Blair Pacheco. We're talking for exposure. We're going to dive into a little deeper into some of the stuff that I saw at Naptown Pro and get you ready for the independent wrestling weekend ahead.
Hell yeah. You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms. Here comes my cat. He knows it's the end of the show. He does it every time.
I thought that was John Cena for a split second.
That's what I'm saying.
Whoa.
That's what I'm saying.
Fences and Nia's out now. Tiffany Stat tomorrow.
Tomorrow, our Tiffany Stratton interview will drop. But you can follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming there. You can find me here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. with this guy doing Between Two Beards, the flagship here, like you guys know. Every Tuesday and Thursday morning, 10 a.m., also right here on Love Wrestling. I'm with my pal Drew Nicholas for Firmly Love Wrestling. We talk WWE on Tuesdays. We talk AEW on Thursdays. On my own personal channel, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday nights, we have watch-alongs for all the WWE shows throughout the week, where I usually bring a friend or two and we just kind of chill out, have some fun, and talk some wrestling. Very laid back, not any of the crazy reaction ones. Those people are more than fine. That we met a bunch of them. They're great people too, but not really that type of screaming, yelling vibe. It's more of a chill, let's just watch wrestling, have some fun, and some good banter vibe. So check that out. And this past Monday, I hopped on the bodyslam.net crew for their post-Raw show. Seems I'm going to be doing that most Mondays moving forward as well, and joining that crew over there and helping them out whenever needed on Body Slam. So go find that out, and yeah, watch us after Raw on Monday nights over there. So, you know, new stuff keeps on coming up. We're trying to do as much as we can and stuff like that. So things are going well. Things are going well. So follow us and follow all of us everywhere individually and all of us here collectively before my cat hits my mic and ruins.
King Lou, baby.
What's
I think he ruined it. I think he ruined it.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. My cat's name is Lou.
Lou.
And he's a savage beast. And he has this whole desk wide open for him to sit. And he's like, I'm sitting right in front of you on your microphone wire.
He wants to sit on Dad.
Every time. Here he comes. He's going to come right up. Yep, there it is. All right. But for everybody that joined, DC Hendrix, for Wells, thank you both again. You guys are always welcome. You know that. We love having you on here. For everybody in the chat, yeah, you got to show that title one more time. For everybody in the chat that was here tonight, we thank you all for the super chats from Grainmaker and Amanda. Thank you so much. We will see you all real soon. And until then, you know the drill. Say hi to Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Peace out.
See you, Sue.
Hey there, PLUGGO and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. You know, get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans.